Okay, so we'll start this meeting of the Budget Committee on March 3rd at 6 p.m. And we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. And the select board meeting for tonight will officially begin also at 6:02.
Okay. So we'll start with the outside agencies. Thanks everybody for coming. Basically, we're just looking for a little bit of description about your agency and what you offer to the town of Denmark. So, does anybody have a really far drive? I guess that's my first question. Furthest away? Looks fairly local.
I'm going back to Lewis.
You win.
You win.
Yeah. So if you could just come to the mic right now.
Again, thank you for that. That was very kind of you. I'm Kelsey Miller. I'm with Community Concepts. We are the community action agency serving Androscoggin, Oxford, and Franklin counties. This year we are requesting $1,000, which is in alignment with our past requests, and I want to thank the town of Denmark very much for your past support. We truly appreciate it. All donations help us to fill funding gaps. We are primarily federally and state funded. However, we fundraise, and any donations that come in can either help us to be a match for federal funding and or help us to fill any of the gaps that are not covered. With our request, I think you have a services sheet from Community Concepts, but I have one that I can pass out if you do not have that. I'm seeing one nod.
What are we looking for?
Page 3,
Community, yeah.
It's the back page. The back page, the Home Energy Assistance Program.
Yes.
Okay.
So those are everything
So you
that they
do
offer.
have it?
Yep.
Okay, so just to go over that quickly, some of the most popular in Denmark programs that we serve you with is our Home Energy Assistance Program. That's fuel assistance. So in our last fiscal year, we served 43 households. Energy Crisis Intervention Program, 3 households. So just good to know about that service as well. So that's if you are under a quarter tank of oil, or if you're running out of your wood, whatever your heating source is. If you're in an emergency situation, that's
Okay, so we'll start this meeting of the Budget Committee on March 3rd at 6 p.m. And we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. And the select board meeting for tonight will officially begin also at 6:02.
Okay. So we'll start with the outside agencies. Thanks everybody for coming. Basically, we're just looking for a little bit of description about your agency and what you offer to the town of Denmark. So, does anybody have a really far drive? I guess that's my first question. Furthest away? Looks fairly local.
I'm going back to Lewis.
You win. Yeah. So if you could just come to the mic right now.
Again, thank you for that. That was very kind of you. I'm Kelsey Miller. I'm with Community Concepts. We are the community action agency serving Androscoggin, Oxford, and Franklin counties. This year we are requesting $1,000, which is in alignment with our past requests, and I want to thank the town of Denmark very much for your past support. We truly appreciate it. All donations help us to fill funding gaps. We are primarily federally and state funded. However, we fundraise, and any donations that come in can either help us to be a match for federal funding and or help us to fill any of the gaps that are not covered. With our request, I think you have a services sheet from Community Concepts, but I have one that I can pass out if you do not have that. I'm seeing one nod.
What are we looking for?
Page 3,
Community,
It's the back page. The back page, the Home Energy Assistance Program.
Okay.
So those are everything
So you
that they
do
offer.
have it?
Yep.
Okay, so just to go over that quickly, some of the most popular in Denmark programs that we serve you with is our home energy assistance program. That's fuel assistance. So in our last fiscal year, we served 43 households. Energy crisis intervention program, 3 households. So just good to know about that service as well. So that's if you are under a quarter tank of oil, or if you're running out of your wood, whatever your heating source is. If you're in an emergency situation, that's extra for HEAP. So you can reach out to us in those situations. We listed all the residents that we served in our many different programs. Something I like to mention as well is we merged with Oxford County Mental Health Services in 2024. So now we also offer behavioral health services, and that's new for our organization. So just good to know for residents as well. I'd be happy to take any questions if you have them, and just thank you again for your continued support.
Just one, I guess the vast majority of your earnings or donations and things are from governmental agencies or big donors. I see if you spent quite a bit in Denmark and doesn't come close.
So if you look down, all of the programs do equate their services differently. So each of them are different. So if you had any questions specifically, I could work with that program director. But for HEAP, for instance, that $22,000 that went into those directly to households. Whereas Maine Families, that number, which is a home visiting program, that would cover the home visitor who goes into the home. So that's not $6,000 that went to the family. It is if you equate it to the home visitor.
Yeah, that I wasn't asking that per se. No, that's fine. I was just saying.
But yes, so HEAP is a Maine state program that we run, so that's, state funded.
Big programs that fund you.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Good, thank you. And would you like me to stay for the meeting, or? No. Okay, again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I can imagine we have better things to do.
Anybody else have a ways to travel, or we just?
I'm Huddersfield.
Go ahead.
I'm leaving you, baby. I love you, but I'm leaving you. I'm familiar with the town of Denmark, lived there for 20 years, so hello to the faces that I do recognize. I'm Stephanie. I work for the Cancer Resource Center of Western Maine. It is a nonprofit that was started by 3 cancer survivors in the area who felt like patients having to drive to Lewiston to go to the Dempsey Center was too much. When you're dealing with cancer, you need things local and at home. So in 2025, we have a cancer resource navigator who meets with all new cancer patients and or their caregivers. Can be either, whoever is in the best state to do that. She met with 79 new patients or caregivers to assess their needs, to figure out what were the barriers to getting treatment and what were stressors that we could remove so that that person could focus on treatment. So actually, we had 79 new patients. Our cancer navigator worked with 141. So every year we've had consistently about 100 new patients each year, some years as high as 150. This year it was 79. So each year our pile is getting bigger because the ones we worked with from the year before don't just disappear because they either still have cancer, they're a survivor, or their caregiver needs support because they've lost somebody. So our active panel is about 589 patients and or caregivers. Our ultimate goal is to just remove stressors and help with their quality of life the best we can. The number one stressor that our patients will tell you is transportation. If they don't have main care and don't have a car or somebody to drive them, at this point, our resources are pretty limited. We have to get really, really creative. Our recent creativity for a man who had to get to a biopsy is it sprung to the navigator when he said he was a vet. So we started calling the local vet centers and saying, we need this guy to get to Portland. He has cancer and he needs a biopsy. And luckily some woman who worked there said, I'll take him. And we gave her gas money and she took him. So we're always trying to be really creative around transportation. This is the first year in many years we have not gotten our transportation grant. That's because you can only apply so many years and then you have to take a break, and this year is our break year. So we're pretty anxious about transportation funds because we tried to squirrel away as many gas cards as we could for this year. But But that's a huge barrier for patients. That's probably the number one barrier. Then we also try to work with them on their quality of life. We offer Live Well programs, alternative therapies such as massage, reflexology, Reiki, because when they're undergoing treatment and feel like crap, we want them to take care of themselves so much as they can, and one of their caregivers, because the impact on caregivers is actually higher often than it is on the actual patient, because they have no control over what's going on, and they have no say, and it's not their body, and they just have to witness. We often, with Community Concepts, we connect with them. We did a mutual grant to do mental health counseling, both for cancer patients and their caregivers. So we have funding for that. I'm just trying to do the highlights. Anything else that's jumping out to me?
Stephanie, did you send us a letter?
Yes.
Yes, it's
It's
page
in here.
29.
Page 29, thank you.
Sorry.
Red numbers in that.
Thank you.
So this year, we're asking for $250. Just be warned, we are going to be increasing that amount. We have a new director, and because we don't have any federal or state grants, all of our money is fundraising, or like we get money from the Maine Cancer Foundation, we get money from the Maine Community Foundation. We fundraise, come out on Thanksgiving and do our turkey trot. We raised $25,000 this year. We do a golf tourney. So our money comes from individual donations or foundations. And my ultimate goal is I would like to see our town funding be high enough to cover our transportation need every year. And we're not close to that. We're like at a third. So we've talked about trying to increase all of our town requests next year to see if we can get close to meeting what we would need to cover what our patients need in our community, which is about $10,000 to $15,000 a year. That's my goal.
How many folks in Denmark have you been involved with?
I have 7 down, so we've helped 7 this year.
And why are you only asking for $250?
Because
You did the same last year, right?
well, no, we raised it.
Okay.
Like, so a year or 2 years ago, I think you said, we asked for 100. Like, why aren't you asking for more? I was like, all right, so we upped it to 250. But I also attend a lot of town meetings and see towns are struggling, so we didn't want to like go, psh. But next year you might see that's probably going to be 500 in my mind. Because I want to get that gas money, because when you have patients call you and say, Steph, I can either go to radiation, I can eat, or I can get my medication, which am I going to do? Is not an acceptable question anybody should have to face. And I've had multiple patients do that to me. The first was a woman in Bethel, and like my heart broke, and I was like, this is not okay. Luckily, I was able to get her medication through the Med Access program. We got money, did food through the food bank, and we got her gas money to get to radiation. So she was able to do all 3. But when you know your cancer patients are sitting there going, I can't do treatment because I can't afford to go, it's not okay to me. So that's my goal. I work at Stevens too as an oncology social worker, and I work here, and I was trying to be respectful of towns and funding, but we have a new director, and she's like, we need to ask for more, and I'm like, okay. So next year it'll probably be 500 request.
How much do we set aside for general assistance that we never use every year?
At least 2,500. Transportation grant, how often, like what's the round on that? You were saying you can't.
We don't have it this year. We can ask for it again next year.
Okay, and is it like every other year? Is it every 2?
We had actually gotten it for like 3 or 4 years in a row. I'm not the grant writer. I edit them and do all that, but I'm not the initiator of them. I know we can't get it this year, which has caused me anxiety all year. And then I know we can apply for it again next year. So I almost wished we had upped it this year, but we had just upped it the year before. And so I'm trying to balance here, trying to make balances.
Yeah, I had a similar question with that grant cycle, and I think you mentioned it, but I was trying to jot down some notes. Where does that grant come from for that transportation?
It comes from the Maine Cancer Foundation.
Okay, thank you.
And we are going to be looking for other grants, because through the Maine Cancer Foundation, you can only receive so much money from them, like a third of your income can come from them. And we really need operating money too. And so we haven't been able to ask for operating grants when we had the transportation money. So we're trying to juggle on meeting all of our needs. So Grant Station and I have become really good friends, and I am trying to find other funds for other grant money to make that happen. I'm thinking about, I should write to Golf or Mobile and be like, hey, help Irving, help me out. So, any other questions?
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Anybody else have a long way to go? How about we'll start in the back and we'll work our way towards the front, if that works. So,
I'll be up against Barry.
Oh, you
Now
know the
you'll
system.
know.
I didn't know the system. You probably can hear me. I'm Billy Lynn Burke, and I am the interim executive director of the Greater Richmond Chamber of Commerce. I did send a request to you, and you have all this information in front of you, and we have a lot of good news. And last year, when we brought some of our board members and our treasurer with us, it was our new administration that just started in January of 2025. We've had a year to regroup, rebrand, and restore the Chamber of Commerce. And at that time, halfway through 2024, we did not have an executive director. We had no staff. And we stepped up. We had a group from the Chamber who gathered together, myself as a president at the time, and we volunteered to keep the chamber running for the last 2 years. You're the first town who knows that we just rebranded the new name. So it's not just the Greater Richmond Chamber of Commerce, it's Maine Lakes Chamber. The technology is going to be digital. We have an area guide that we're going to release in May. Will be a hard copy, will be in all the towns, but it will also be digital. We are also putting on the website a job board. So if anyone's looking for a job, or if any business wants to post a job interview or wants to hire people, that will be there. If you want to look at either website, the website that's up right now is gblrcc.org. The other one, if you write this down, is mainlakeschamber.org. That website hasn't been launched, but it's there. It's in work in progress. And it's going to put everything in our region on that site so that anyone from any place can see what's going on, when, where, why, and how come. And the mission that we've always had is to support our community, our visitors, our locals, and our businesses. And that's why we upped our stipend request. And I don't believe we got many last year because the chamber at that time had been going through a transition. But we were back, and we were earning the trust back for all the communities and to be there to support and be the hub.
Betty, is that on our request?
It was lost in email until today.
Okay. How much are
They did send it in February.
How much are they asking for?
6,000. I actually, tonight, you have the letter. I handed out the letter tonight along with this, so there is also a letter.
Okay.
So I guess my question off the expense budget 2027, and you can correct me because I'm probably wrong, but I think that the benefit, it would seem that as it's being told to us, is that people could visit that website and get information about Denmark and the surrounding towns, and the area guide production would be something physical that they could look
Absolutely.
at, whatever.
Absolutely.
So, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but that looks like that's a total of $18,600 split between the how many towns, but the total operating budget's $113,670, and a request of $6,000 is basically funding a third of what the direct benefit would be to the community members. Is that correct? The others are all kind of
This
overhead
expense
expenses?
category is what we've taken from what we could gather from all the data that we did lose from the previous administration, and we kept this as lean as we could because we did not pay an executive director $55,000. We didn't pay anyone or a staff person to hold it open. I actually sat in that office for a year and a half free to keep these things going. And when I stepped in, we had zero in our accounts, and now we are solvent. And we're trying to restore, and thank goodness we have a wonderful board who has come to the chamber and helped me day and night to get us back on the map, earn the trust from the community, and we know that we have the resources now and the technology to put Denmark, all the 13 towns on the map, and easily to have access for anyone who wants information. If you're hiring someone or you're looking for a job or you go Google, where can I stay, where can I recreate, you can end up in Tennessee or Georgia. I've had so many calls in the chamber, people calling, where can I stay? And they'll be talking about the museum. And I said, what town are you calling for? Oh, Georgia. This is Bridgeton, Maine. You have no idea how much information on Craigslist, Facebook, Google, Yelp. If anyone Googles that, you're not going to get the information for these 13 towns. If you want to generate that inventory or that research, we will have that in place. And on our site, if you just go to those two sites and review it, and you'll see where we're going. And it's on a fast track. It probably was slow for the last 4 or 5 years, but we're back, and we want to serve all the communities, bring business to our towns, bring tourism here, and actually invite the people to enjoy our lakes, mountains, rivers, and our art centers.
So I guess my question,
Yes.
when you say job postings, are you going to those businesses? Are those businesses coming to you?
What we want.
How are you?
The job board will be posted on our website, the new website that hasn't been launched, but you have access to it if you want to go there. It will be a job board where a business can post, I'm hiring, I'm looking to hire people. If you want to work at this restaurant, you want to work at the town. There are a lot of towns who've gone through a lot of transitions now. They're looking for an office manager, looking for directors in their positions. They can post those jobs, and then it will goes right to your site, or these people can put their resumes on our site, which then goes directly to yours. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Do you
Okay.
charge those businesses to post their job?
On the job board?
Yes.
I'm not sure how that is. If it is, I think it might be a $10 fee to post those jobs. It's not like thousands of dollars to post those jobs. But right now, that's a link that isn't active, but those are some of the ideas that we have going forward.
And would it be the same for a person posting their resume? Would there be a charge for that?
I don't believe so. I don't.
Yeah, no.
Because
That's
believe me, this has all taken place since January of 2026. We are moving as quickly as we can to get ahead of the summer. Now, I also noticed in Denmark, your population doubles in the summertime. So we're trying to get ahead of that population so people will come to your town and your businesses and enjoy your environment and actually enhance your business's revenue.
If we don't want all those people here, we should go.
Oh, I think you want them all here, but I will say, we're trying to expand, but just being in that chamber office in the last year and a half, it's disappointing to see what people don't have access to. Information. And we want to have this chamber be the information hub. We went to Naples to present our information, and they have a kiosk. And it's just information. And they said, well, what do we need that for? I said, well, that's your decision. But if we can have this presence online and anybody can have access to it, and we can have the area guide as a hard copy, that will be distributed through all 13 towns. And I know that's a lot to ask. And last year when we came, we were not prepared because we were in the middle of our upheaval. But we're back, and we want to be here and make it work for everybody.
Thank you. Anybody else?
And I have more information if you want it, but I think that's the synopsis of what we have. And that 113 for our budget doesn't include a lot of other things that we have volunteers doing for us right now.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you for having me.
Nope, you guys are all set. Thank you. The Arts Center. Wanna go?
I should put it on the record, I'm not against tourism, I'm just joking.
Hi, I'm Susan Bean from Denmark Arts Center, and The Art Center, again, is requesting from the town support of $2,500 for kids' programs, which vary in range from, each year we have 4 camps for kids, and we provide free, what we call scholarship, where we do an application process for kids who are either children or families in town or grandkids, because that works as well, kindercare. So we have camps for children that we offer. We also offer family fun days, which we generally have 3 or 4 a year, including magicians and jugglers. And last year we had Sebago, Long Lake Chamber, I just hatched their name up, the musicians, and had a children's chamber concert with Ferdinand the Bull, so we incorporate with some kids' stories. And also, we do Halloween each year with the library and try to get that engaged of the community. And we just started doing a Christmas this year with Mr. and Mrs. Claus and Christmas presents for the kids, which we were given great insight on how to reach more family than 2 for next year. So that's great. But that's where we put our money towards each year for children's programming. And then 2 years ago, we had, because Dam Jam was rained out, we had a fall program where we had Saturday mornings free for 4 weeks for families. And that seemed really good. We had like 10 families a week. So we might just do that this year in addition to looking at our grant writing for kids programs. Can I answer any questions that people may have?
Have the grants dried up, or are they still coming?
Oh, last year they just seemed to change. They went down. They dropped about 25%. And then they rallied at the end of the year. So it wasn't status quo. So we'll see how this year goes. Last year was weird. So it means, like, for nonprofits, everyone here probably like writing grants when you don't usually plan on writing grants, and reaching out to new ones, which is not a bad idea anyway. And then I noticed that some places sort of, the woman who had spoken earlier, they're doing the hold off for 2 years, come back to us. So that's a way for them to spread out their funding and still support.
My question is, I just see 7 to 16 as your age group. Do you do any younger?
We do pre-K.
Yeah.
And pre-K each year, like we didn't get pre-K last year. So I try to do that as providers, trying to find providers. We used to work with Children's Museum of Maine, and then we worked at a music school out in Falmouth, Music, I think, 317 Maine. And then I've been trying to work with the Schoolhouse Arts over in Wyndham this year. We generally had it, but last year didn't work. Anyone else?
I think this came up last year. And this is the request is strictly for the children's program, correct? So I think there were questions last year.
Yeah,
They would
request
just go
is
into
for-
like the general fund and kind of.
No, and it's so, and I wanted to, no, it's going for kids programs
Yeah.
like the family fun days,
Yeah.
and then camp. And then if we can do a fall programming, which I think we're going to do this year on weekends, it's family and kids programs oriented.
Yeah, it's not.
And that's specifically, it's not an open
That's what I mean.
operational.
If I remember last year, there was some
Yeah, no, you're right.
town people wondering, what it was supporting and things, but it was clear it was strictly for kids programs, which is great. Okay.
Yep. Thanks for that.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
All right, I believe, sir, you're next there.
Thank you. My name is Kevin Foy. I'm the Denmark Commissioner on the Saco River Corridor Commission. And our administrator could not make it today because she was sick, so I'm here in her place. And we'd like to at least maintain the funding that the town has for us. We have 2 water quality measurement sites. One shared with Brownfield in the Brownfield Bog, and the second one on the Moose Brook, right below where the dam is. And that's a continuous monitoring site. We measure for water quality parameters. There's about 6 or 7 different parameters that we check, and this helps us determine the health of the rivers, especially the Moose Brook running into the Saco River. And in our commission, every town along the Saco River, the Ossipee River, and the Little Ossipee River has a commissioner, and I'm the one from Denmark. And we meet twice a month. I'm on the Rules Committee, and there's also a General Committee where we review people who own land on these rivers want to make changes, and if they want to make changes within a floodplain and things of that nature, they have to come to us so they can go over the rules and we can grant them permission or help them find another way of doing things. So my point is this commission is valuable for protecting the rivers, and the fact that we do have water quality monitoring, it's all available on our site. You can see everything that's been done and averaged out between the towns, including Denmark. And if you want, I could also send you the 2025 copies of what the results were to this board here. So I'm here just to represent the commission. Thank you.
Well, we have a letter here, right, from Sherry Dunning?
Yes, she's our head administrator.
So I guess just a question, I may have asked this in the past, and not a great memory, but with that water quality monitoring, if there is if the monitor indicates a problem, what happens then?
You will be notified. The town will be notified.
So the town gets some notification that the water quality is substandard and...
Is moving in the wrong direction. So, like with any kind of statistical studies, if it goes what you can call yellow or red, when it goes in a certain direction over time, yes, the town would be notified.
I mean, it's up to the town to do what it deems.
Make adjustments, yes.
Thanks.
And at this point, the biggest thing that we look for is E. coli, of course, and both stations are fine.
No shit. You're on fire today.
Just needs an audience.
How do you guys, I mean, is it just because you're just the rivers? Is that how you differ from LEA for the water quality?
Yes, we're just the rivers.
Just the rivers, okay.
And do you work with the canoe companies in the area, campsites, that kind of thing, or is it just...
The campsites that are on the river, yes.
Okay.
And they're watched very closely.
The request is for monitoring costs and so forth.
Yes.
I guess my question, and maybe it's for another time, and maybe we should have our representative meet at one of our meetings so we haven't had someone from Saco River give the town a really, or from the commission, and I think you're fairly new
Yeah, about a year and a half.
Yeah.
I'm still learning.
Yeah, but the board hasn't really been updated on, and I guess my question is based on the fact that it's requesting money. I've read recently there's been a lot of issues with the Saco River and the fact with the University of New England, and I'm sure you're familiar with all that evidently they're building within 250 or 200 feet, which is the whole Saco River premise. They maintain that 200-foot, right? And you can correct me if I'm wrong. I guess, any thoughts on where that might end up? Well, can the commission, I've read where the commission might get disbanded. It could be, they've thrown all kinds of things out there. Again, it's just from what I've read, third party. So I guess my question is, is that going to get settled somehow? I mean, to allow someone to, and somehow the administrator approved it, et cetera, not to get into a big, long language. I guess my whole point is the commission in good standing and they're going to survive this kind of thing? Because it seems like they went against their own rules in allowing that development, or going to allow that development.
What specific development you're talking
The
about?
one that, I guess,
University of New England?
University of New England's looking to put some kind of dock on the river or something like that.
What town?
And,
Down in Saco,
yeah,
I
but it's
think.
part of, it's on the Saco.
Yeah.
And it's part of the commission. I was just wondering if you had any comments as far as long-term is, I mean, the commission does a great job, especially up in this area, because there's a lot of land, and we hope that they keep to their buffer requirements and stuff. But there was a big issue with the fact that evidently that didn't happen, and I guess both sides are fighting it out. And it seems like the commission is supporting the developer, which is against the commission's.
The commission will
Goal.
only support the developer. I go to just about every meeting. And University of New England has come with various proposals over the past year and a half. I've seen probably about 4. And they come very well rehearsed, et cetera, et cetera. But the question about the dock, there was an existing dock there. They wanted to expand it for their research because that school has been expanding quite a bit. And they have oceanographic studies, et cetera, et cetera. And so that came to us, and we have certain rules. So a dock can only go out so far percentage distance into the river. The percentage is calculated from the width of the river at that point. So they can't violate that. When they put in something new, anything that disturbs the soil has to be remedied on the plus side. So that we made sure happened. So when I was at that meeting, what I found out is they were complying with the standard, even if it include a slight dock expansion, because of their role as an educational institution. Okay, the details that you're talking about, I'm not aware of it. That's what Sherry could answer in more detail.
Would have been interesting to have her here.
Yeah.
Anything I've read is
Yeah, no, I saw some
she's
of those
been
emails.
part of the big issue. So again, I don't want to waste the time here, but I think it would be good, Betty, to maybe have them, if we could arrange, come to one of our select boards, just update us.
Sure.
It'd be just for our sake, because we've never got really good updates these last couple of years from previous members. So it would be kind of nice to.
Well, I can help change that for
Yeah,
sure.
we would really appreciate that. So
But what I'd like to add, if you don't mind, is we have a quorum on our monthly meetings, and that's where the applicants come, including University of New England and everybody else. And that quorum has to be 11 commissioners up and down the 3 rivers. And we vote. And we hold ourselves to the rules very tightly. So I can't see of any gross violations.
it's things that I've been reading, and again, it's third party, so, but it's been a lot of
I've seen some of
information
it.
out there. Again, we could talk later. We could talk at a separate issue. I don't want to
Not a problem at
drag
all.
this down, but we'd appreciate it, yeah. But no, as far as for the monitoring, that's good stuff. I think the request, at least personally.
I think it's a great organization.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks.
Whoever's in the corner, halfway there.
Good evening. I'm Chris Gouderman. I'm the treasurer for the Denmark Public Library. This year, we're in our 39th year here. And as far as our budget funding request, we are requesting that it remain the same as last year. What we provide this community is resources to literature, hard copy, fiction, nonfiction, as well as access through our website to a whole ebook collection through a subscription that we maintain with the state of Maine. This year, Katie Dunn has been very active in developing the programs, the special programs, not only for adults, but as for children. Our big highlight this past year was the whale down in the park. I don't know if anybody saw that, but it was something, it was an exhibit that the kids were able to walk through, and it was very enlightening. We provide our current listing I got from Katie on patrons is 882, so it's a lot of patrons. And the one thing the sad news that I have to relay is that Katie's retiring this year. As great as job that she's been doing, but we are currently interviewing for a new librarian. And we look forward to that person coming in with a whole bunch of new ideas that we can expand our programs to kids, adults, and everything. And we're also looking at continuing our film series this year. But not only are we just by ourselves, we also, the library houses the Historical Society and their archive. And we also have a collaborative effort with the Historical Society, the Denmark Art Center, and ourselves every year, which is an author series that we bring in Maine authors to talk to, represent their book and talk to people in the community during the summertime. And we found that to be very receptive as far as for the folks here in town. So, does anybody have any questions for us as far as the library goes?
How many hours a week is your librarian?
You're going to have to speak.
I'm sorry, how many hours a week is your librarian's position?
Our librarian's position is part-time. Currently, it's about 13 hours a week. Okay. Our new librarian, we're looking at 14. We're bumping it up so that they have time to do some more administrative work in addition to doing the shelves, ordering the books, and all that other
Do you
stuff.
have volunteers helping that librarian at all? Or?
Volunteers are far and few and far between. Okay, but we do have a very active board, library board. We're the, just like the Historical Society, we're the primary supporters on that. But it's not that we're not looking for them. We're hopefully going to encourage participants from the Freiburg Academy as far as their community service thing to encourage them to come and work out at our library. Okay? So, any other questions?
Just on the proposed library budget, my assumption is it says July 26th to June 27th. Those are all, are those contributions all those must be all anticipated? That's what you would expect?
Yes.
You're expecting
That's
to
what
get
I'm
in.
kind of
Yeah,
projecting
okay.
based on our historical record.
Okay, thanks.
Okay? All right, so that's what we're looking at. And of course, our fiscal year runs from the 1st of July to the 30th of June. Okay? No other questions? All right, thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Darcy Pomelo. I'm the Executive Director for the Bridgeton Community Center. I'm a lousy public speaker. I'll just put that out there out front.
No problem.
So the Bridgeton Community Center is a nonprofit 501c3. We're housed in a municipal building in Bridgeton. We've been a hub for vital community programming for over 20 years now. I don't believe prior to me that we've ever done an outside agency request with other communities. We're finding that our programs are expanding, and under those circumstances, we are reaching out because we're trying to offset the burden of cost for Bridgeton residents as well. Because while we're housed there, we do work with Bridgeton residents, obviously, but we're also seeing that we're stretching further outside of our community. So primarily what we're looking for is support for our senior lunch program and also our community resource navigator. Our community resource navigator is funded through CDBG funding and the support from the Bridgeton Community Center. It's sort of a collaborative effort. Unfortunately, those CDBG funds are limited, so we're finding that there are gaps in services for folks, and we're hoping not only just to maintain our current resource navigator, who is part-time, but also look forward towards the future to see if we can't offset those gaps. Currently, the Community Resource Navigator has worked with a minimum of 10 residents from Denmark. And I should say this, we've just started implementing a tracking system for our resource navigator. It's difficult to do it with all of the programs and services that we offer, so we're starting where we know we have solid footing, and then we can go out from there. But we also track, we sort of informally track for our senior lunch program. We have a sign-in sheet for folks. We ask where they're coming from, and but sometimes people fill it out, sometimes they don't.
Is there, sorry to interrupt you, but is there any restriction on who can access these
No.
programs? Okay.
No, not at all. In fact, we welcome folks. So for our community resource navigator, she basically addresses folks' needs, immediate needs, and then through contact with them, she finds that there are maybe other areas or resources that they need. We oftentimes work with a lot of the GAs in all of the surrounding towns. I actually just got a call today for somebody to meet with her from up north. So I was like astounded. I was like, my gosh, how did you even know about us? But she's a wizard. And she is a fabulous human being, and she has skills that cannot be taught. They are just internal. And with our senior lunch program, we do ask for a donation of $3 per meal. We serve about 5,000 meals a year. We also have other programs. The donation is asked, but we don't monitor, and nor will I ever ask for somebody to contribute to that program. Food insecurity, social isolation, they're all grave concerns for all of us, especially for our seniors and disabled. So we want to make sure that people feel comfortable and included. We also have changed our program up a smidge. When I started, I'm still relatively new, but we were serving about 42 people for senior lunch. Now we're over 100 each week. Every meal is homemade. There is nothing store-bought that we can pop into a microwave. I hate to say it, but we don't want folks to go home, hungry. We don't want folks to go home with salt-laden foods. We want people to be able to enjoy something that they can also take home that's extra. Because a lot of times our seniors are not cooking for a lot of people, so we just want to make sure everybody has something yummy to eat. Other services that we do provide through the community center, other than the senior lunch program, is also a community kettle dinner, which is, we're attempting to get it back on track to a bi-weekly event. Those are free meals to our communities. They're all sponsored by other nonprofits and local businesses. If anybody ever wants to come participate and do one, highly recommend it.
Community what?
They're called community kettle dinners.
Kettle dinner?
Yeah.
Don't they do it in Freiburg also?
Yeah, they're fun, and people are great. And it encourages other nonprofits and local businesses to kind of get a foot into the communities and, get to know the people that they serve. So we try and do those every other Thursday during the months. I'm trying to think. We also work with staff through the Cancer Resource Center. We offer chair yoga, cancer support groups. We have gaming groups for adults and children. We have crafting groups and painting. We also offer services to connect with LIHEAP for weatherization, heating assistance. We also have community health insurance navigators. So during open enrollment, we have folks that come through the doors to participate in Medicare and marketplace insurance. They also meet with folks throughout the year because, as you guys know, health insurance is changing drastically. We also have community gardens where we offer programming for anybody that's interested in learning how to cultivate a fabulous garden. And we also offer memory care services and a bunch of other things. So
This is the school next to the parking lot, right? The old
So it
school?
used to be the old armory.
Armory,
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
Now, do you rent that out at all?
So we have a working MOU with the town of Bridgeton, and that's been in effect. So the community center came to fruition, I want to say, I don't even know what the date was, but the armory was there. When the armory got done, they they offered it to the town of Bridgeton, as long as there were public services that were being offered through the building. So since then, that's how the community center sort of came to play, and it's just steadily grown. It took a huge hit during the pandemic, like most places did. So my first year or so was just trying to get some recovery in that. So, is there any other questions?
Do you know which other towns you've sent?
All kinds.
Yeah.
So Naples, Casco, Sebago, Freiburg, Bridgeton, obviously. I'm trying to think. There's like 2 others, I believe,
Brownfield.
as well. Harrison, and I'm forgetting one.
Sweden, they border you.
I don't know if I did Sweden this year or not. This is sort of my first venture outward.
Yeah, that's just fine.
So, Brownfield, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you. Are there any other questions?
No, great.
All
Excellent.
right, awesome. Thank you so much.
You did fine.
Like, I don't know why I get so nervous.
That's all it is. Easy to do.
you haven't seen nothing like it up there.
Well, then show us there. Now's your time to shine. Come on. Yeah.
I will vouch for the Bridgeton Community Center. I go there for the meals and they're good.
Oh, thank you. We need that.
So see, I'm representing, I'm Rick Toll, everybody knows me, I think. And I'm representing the Denmark Veterans Committee. What I submitted was inaccurate, but I'll correct it as I go along. We're trying to get a new monument to update it to what we have now, because there's a lot of new names. And it's pretty much the same as I'm asking for last year. So I'll just skip over a lot of the stuff. But as of right now, we're trying to get about 30,000 for the monument's going to cost about that much. And right now, we have about $8,000 in our bank account. It's just about 29% of our goal. So that was wrong. I wrote that thing wrong. And our goal is to get the monument put in place by 2029, because that's when the church is also doing their bicentennial. So we're trying to work with them to have it at the same time if we can. I'm looking at my notes because I'm nervous. See, you thought you were bad. I've looked for grants. I've had no luck. I can't find anything for monuments and memorials, and Betty has given me some information, and I've looked at that stuff, and I can't really find anything. Usually for veterans, they're looking for somebody that's helping the disabled and stuff like that, but I have no luck with monuments and memorials. And Sue said she'd help me with a grant if I can find one, but I haven't. See, I'll put a plug in for you too. But I can't find a grant that will sponsor a monument or memorial. And if anybody you know, please reach out and let me know. And you guys asked me last year about getting somebody local to do the groundwork, and I'll look into that once we get closer to our goal. But we don't know where we're going to put it yet, so it's kind of irrelevant to ask like Goffs about doing it, because we don't know where we're going to put it. But once we get it closer to our goal and get serious about putting it in place someplace, I will reach out and see if I can get like them to maybe help cut the cost or offset the cost or something like that. And
is it going to replace this one?
yes, it's going to replace that one eventually. And I mean, I got ideas where I want it to go, but it's not my choice.
What do you do with this one?
I don't know yet.
Just,
the
plaques essentially.
We'll keep the plaques.
Yeah,
maybe we'll do something like that up here. That's it's too far away to really say, but I won't throw them away.
Well,
no, we won't throw them away. I'm not the one in charge. On any amount that we reach over our goal, we'll probably work with the town and put it like in a safe spot. So when we add names later on, any excess money will go to adding the names to the monument. And I think that's about it. I really don't know. I'm kind of nervous here. And I put a large amount in there because it's like going to a car, buying a new car. You know, you don't want to ask for like $1.
Start high, yeah.
Yeah.
Start.
And I'll be happy with what I got last year. So, but I didn't know I don't know what to ask for because I don't do this all the time. But I'm anxious if anybody has any ideas for grants because I can't find one.
I don't know anything about that, but. Any questions here?
No.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you.
All right, I'll make
Did
it
I
well.
will send you, I will send you perhaps some private grant opportunities.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
You are.
Good evening. Thanks for the opportunity to come and talk to the Budget Committee. Thank you very much for the contribution that was provided last year. It was an increase from the previous year. We very much appreciate that. We're asking for the same amount this year as last year, $1,000.
Who are you?
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm so nervous. My name is Barry Calander. I'm a director on the Airport Authority Board.
Thank you.
And I apologize for that.
okay,
Thank
no
you.
problem.
There's annual reports that I left on the table, but I'm going to just summarize very briefly the annual report and then try to remind everybody what the benefit of having an airport locally is, because a lot of people think it's just for rich guys that have airplanes to fly their airplanes around, and there's some real benefits to the airport. So last year was a big year for the airport. We had a $5.5 million runway and taxiway extension project that was completed. Coleman was the contractor from Conway. Did a great job on budget, actually a little under budget, on schedule. That added 500 feet to the runway. The importance, so we're at 503 feet. That extra 3 feet is a lot of small jets require 5,000 feet. So we're 5,003. This is not a move to make the airport a commercial airport. Sometimes in public meetings, people come and say, oh, when's JetBlue going to start flying into the airport? And there is no plan to, and of course, there's no profit margin in an airline coming into Freiburg with Portland so close. But people worry about it. They don't want it. They worry about it. And that's nowhere in the plan. So we completed that $5.5 million project. That was funded predominantly by the FAA, who maintains the whole aeronautical system in the country. And we got a lot of state money. Susan Collins was very helpful to the airport in securing money for the state. And we have an obligation, depending on the source of the money, to match 2.5% to 5%. And I'll get to why that's so relevant and important to town funding. We also did and Freiburg paid for this, the town of Freiburg, there was a $550,000 reconstruction of the access road. They did, Kiel won that bid and did an incredible job. Came in originally expected about $700,000, came in at $550,000. So that's the access road from Route 5 all the way into the airport, and it was a mess if you'd ever been down there. And then we also changed our name from the Eastern Slopes Regional Airport to the White Mountain Regional Airport to sort of the panache of this great area that we live in. I don't think anybody knew what the Eastern Slopes was. Budget, we operate, this year we have a budget of $498,000. We're asking for $1,000, so you think, well, that's a drop in the bucket. Well, it's the budget, we basically derive funds from three places: fuel sales, leases of hangar space and rental, and community funding. Community funding is about 10% of our budget. So this year we did about $37,000 last year. We're targeting $42,000 this year. Freiburg is 20. They're the biggest contributor. Conway is the second largest at 10,000. Somebody asked me in this group about Bridgeton. I'm meeting with Bridgeton on Thursday, and we've been making progress on securing a $5,000 commitment from Bridgeton. They were sort of left off for a long time, and I think they should be a major contributor. So that's the financials. So I want to just summarize the three benefits that the airport offers. Probably the most important to everybody is emergency services. So Life Flight of Maine did 71 approaches at White Mountain Regional last year to go to Stevens, Bridgeton, or Memorial, those three hospitals. So what that means is if you look out your window and you can see Pleasant Mountain's 2,000 feet. If you can see about a third the way up Pleasant Mountain, or the clouds are, obscuring the top 2/3. And if you look over at Burnt Meadow Mountain and you can see maybe a half of Burnt Meadow Mountain, we can still get in under that with the approach that we have. So we have the best approach in Oxford County. The next best approach would be Portland or Laconia. Laconia doesn't work for emergency services to come to our hospitals, right? There's mountains in the way, the Ossipee Mountain Range and others. Portland's really too far away. So if a helicopter comes to Portland, to come, scud run over to our hospitals is impractical. So this airport provides a very valuable service. Life Flight, even on a nice day, they will get their weather report from our airport. But anything less than about 2,500 feet of ceiling, which is over the top of Pleasant, they're going to use our approach. And we can get down to 400 feet above ground with our approach. So we can get in pretty cruddy weather. Charitable flights is another one. I've mentioned before, I fly for, privately and for Angel Flight. I fly all over the state of Maine, northern New Hampshire, Vermont, northern New York, and take people to Boston. 100% charitable contribution. Pilots pay for all the fuel, our airplane, and our time. So anybody in Oxford County, anybody in Denmark, I remember doing one flight out of Denmark to Boston. That is available and is completely free to the patient. There's pet relocation flights that are free. You're trying to go somewhere, you don't want to put the pet in the hold on a commercial airline. There's an organization called PALS, which will fly pets for free. There's pilots that just want to fly, so they do this stuff. Organ flights.
Take them once a day?
Yeah. We relocate organs. Angel Flight does that, and there's other charity organizations that do that. So that's emergency service. I'm going to mention 3. So that's the first, and the one that everybody benefits from that lives here. The economic contribution. So I was at Conway a couple weeks ago, and I said the economic development. And a guy on the budget committee said, we can't keep up with what we have. We want no economic development. So I changed it to economic contribution. So just as an example, I might have mentioned this last year. I flew back from somewhere middle of the summer last year, and there was 3 jets and 2, private-sized jets and 2 turboprops on the ramp. And I said to Dave Cullinane, who's the operations manager over there, why are we so popular today? He says it's Parents' Weekend at the camps. So, there's a lot of people, not a lot. There are some people that fly their kid into camp. And of course, we benefit from that. We have a number of camps in this community, as does Bridgeton and the other ones, which is why we ask them for money as well. So the camp flights is important. Doesn't really help us, but the helicopters that fly at the fair, when they disappear, they've gone over to White Mountain Regional to fuel. So they're running back. We're so convenient to that. And we have a bunch of other people that come in and use the airport. And then the last one on the economic contribution is the people that do have homes or second homes here that fly in and pay taxes and so on in our communities. The third thing I would mention that's a big benefit, especially today, is the forecast for pilots is well below what the demand is going to be over the next 20 years, like way below. And a couple of years ago, Ed Bergeron, who some of you might know, started up a flight academy over at the school. They have relationships with Kennett and Freiburg. They put on summer camps, aviation summer camps. And so if anybody wants to get their private pilot's license, you can just go right over to White Mountain. They have ground school, they have a simulator, and they have 3 airplanes. So flight training, any young people or old people that want to learn how to fly, if they didn't have that, they'd have to go Laconia, Portland, Auburn, Lewiston. They'd have to go a ways. So again, hoping we can get $1,000 as our request, and I'd be happy to answer any questions anyone has.
Is the Canadian 413 transport coming back?
Yes, it is.
And they're not boycotting us?
Nope,
Oh,
they are not, and they're just as happy to be here. So that's a great big search and rescue helicopter, and they use. It's interesting. They want to do mountain training, and they don't have any mountains in Canada, so they come down here. And they use our base to do, well, in Eastern Canada. Thank you, Sean, you know better, right? Eastern Canada. So they come down here and they operate out of here, and it's I can't remember, I think it's coming up here in the next month or two. It's usually in the late spring. And they operate daily. They buy a ton of fuel, jet fuel for the helicopter. We have an acrobatic group of about 6 or 8 planes that's been coming every year now. And again, these people contribute. They go to the restaurants and they go to the, they stay in town and things like that. Any other questions? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
All right, thanks, everybody. Stay. I think we're all good there. Oh, it's historical society.
Historical Society.
Sorry. That's my fault.
There's a few that said they were going to show up and
How you
it's
doing, Andy?
the weather.
Kevin, nice to meet you. I didn't
Historical
mean to
Society. Oh,
put you on the
no,
spot.
don't.
But I think the good
Hi,
thing would
I'm
be is
Leanne Shand. I
hold on,
am the
we got one
curator
more.
of Denmark Historical Society, and I want to speak for our request of $1,000, I believe.
Yep.
We've been a nonprofit since 501c3 since 1989, and we're small. So we are located with Denmark Public Library. We have a home in their basement, and we share the facility. We also have working arrangements not only with the library, but with the other groups, the Art Center too. We have the author series that has been operating for a number of years, but also with the library, we share. And so we had quite a historical and genealogy reference collection since 2017. A majority of it is upstairs in the library that's available if you're doing historical research. A lot of things now are online, but that's less and less. So we have a website. We are on social media, mainly on Facebook with Denmark Maine Memories. We have a newsletter. Rick Toll is the editor of the newsletter. Let's see, what else do we do? We're working with local authors for presentation. And then with the library too, last year, one of the things is they did the whole upstairs and changing the lighting to LED. And this year, we shared the cost with them, and we've changed the lighting to LED, and that was just completed. And what a difference the lighting is in comparison. Michael can attest to this because he's helped us with some photographs of photographing some of our collection, and of the old fluorescent lighting does not work well. And one of the things that we've noticed is we had waited so long to change the lighting that it was flashing. It was really awful, and so I walked into the archives, which has no windows, turned the lights on, and my head went back, and I'm like, oh my goodness, because it was so bright, you could actually see in there, and that's where you're storing and working with your archives. And so it's been a quick change. Today, Rick and I were changing over some of the displays in the meeting room. And we have some donations. We have I was looking, it's not, the postcard isn't part of this collection, but there's an old 1908 postcard that a donor of ours, he goes on eBay and he buys old postcards and photographs of Denmark. He was a summer resident, and he collects these things, and he has his collection scanned when he buys it, and just took the there's a famous 1908, famous in this area, 1908 postcard that somebody's standing on Picket Hill, and it's the lower village, and it had the corn factory and everything at the bridge and dam. And he went and took that, and he hired a digital artist, and they scanned it and cleaned it up. And he made, I don't know the size of it, but it's like this. I mean, it's so huge. And you can see things in this photograph that you could never see before, and we've just displayed it. So anyways, for a person who doesn't like the social media, talking publicly is not easy for me. But if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them, or I'm going to go sit down now.
Great. Thanks, Lee.
Thank you.
Okay. Everybody. All right. So I guess do we want to talk about any of those agencies right now?
I would like decisions if possible, at least so I have a direction for like final.
Well, we can I would say maybe just go through
Yeah.
who was here, because that's really all we can, or do you want to go through every request?
Just on this sheet, everything? Yeah. So might as well stop at the top.
Yeah, okay. So airport, any discussion on that?
Do you want a, just a straw vote of what you're looking
Yeah.
for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm okay with it.
I'm a yes on that too. Community concepts, any discussion there? I'm a yes.
Yes.
And well.
I don't know what that is.
So
Oh,
it's hospice, healthcare, aides, nurses aides,
I would say
PTOT. That is a yes for me as
500
well.
bucks. Yes.
I think we've worked with them right along.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who's asking for more?
Who is asking for more?
Spurwink.
Spurwink,
Camp Susan Curtis.
Sweetser.
Yeah, sweet.
So, that Cancer Resource Center of Western Maine, did we give them money last year?
We did,
I
250
thought she said this was the first time they've gone to town.
No.
No.
So she asked, I think it's the third year, she got like $100 the first year, and we were like, why did you
Yeah.
only ask for $100? You're
It was
doing
the,
good.
Bridgeton
And then she asked for-
Community Center is
That
the
was the
first
new
one.
one, yeah.
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 And she
Oh, yeah,
asked-
it says fourth year request on.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't think I've ever requested them.
It as much as a lot of these other, are good things, it drives me nuts that they're doing really good work and asking for $250. It just drives me nuts. We're doing that when we're not, we're giving, here's $1,500, here's $1,000 for stuff that we don't really ever see and is questionable.
So for that one, if they're going to go to 500 next year, I would be happy to start at 500 and just leave that as our line there. If anybody has any thoughts on
I would love to
Oh.
give them the $500.
I have nothing against that group, and they probably deserve it, but I would hate to start setting a precedent where we give people more money than what they're asking for.
Fair.
If they come next year with 500 or even a 7, that's a different.
for
I
me,
don't know.
yeah.
But
Yeah, no,
that's-
I see what you're saying.
Again, they
Yeah,
might be the most deserving group on there. I don't know, but
Yeah, I see your point though. I do.
They're kind of giving their votes on it.
I hate to tell the agency that's coming to ask for money that we know they need more money than
Right.
Well, I think
she
that's-
said they do.
I think that's a fair thing.
Right.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
should
for them
just
to
jump
say.
right
I
in.
don't know.
Well, I'm sorry. When I
Taking the high
caught
So
it, I could mention.
they're discussing now the cancer resource.
Sorry, we jumped ahead because we were looking
that's what I
at,
said.
we were looking at
You
stuff
went
that's
to-
asking for more.
No, they jumped.
Yeah, sorry, that was probably my fault.
So did you,
So Andwell? Yes.
Anwell's a yes.
All right, yeah, and also a yes.
so the first three you're okay with?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
LEA, let's just go all the way down
Yeah,
to
LEA is a yes.
LEA is a yes.
Yeah.
Saco River.
Saco River is
It's a
necessary.
Yes for me,
Yeah.
yeah. And then Senior Plus,
I would go yes.
Same thing.
yes. Southwest Oxford County Nutrition.
They're flat funded.
Yeah, same.
I know they didn't come and speak to us, but I would.
No, they did say they were going to send somebody, but I'm
Oh, it's
assuming.
just snow. People are probably going to.
That's a yes.
I would
for
That's,
me.
is that what's out of the, on the corner there?
Brownfield.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's out of
Yeah.
the. not
Lions.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
Spurwink wants $300 more.
Without justification, I
I would
would
stay
maybe
with the
say at 12.
1,200.
Yeah.
Let's keep them at
Same.
12. I'd like to keep them at 12.
Life Flight is dropping $1. Do we have some?
We just bumped it up.
Is that a
we
reason?
bumped
Just
it up
because it's
to 600
$5.99 is a
just
weird
because
number.
It was $5.99. It was annoying.
Yeah.
Can we
some.
just? So can we do 600 so it's not an
Yes.
odd number?
That one,
Well, they want $5.99 for a
So,
reason.
yeah,
I thought we.
We talked about it, but we
So-
don't know for sure.
But they
Yeah.
asked for
Yeah.
$5.99.
Are they
Right.
trying to keep it
what they
under a
asked.
specific?
They might
We
want under
send
for a
them
reason.
$5.99.
Yeah. They
Is
might
it a
want-
weird tax? Yeah, no, I mean, cool, whatever. I'm not going to
Yeah.
argue with $1. $5.99.
Yeah.
If that's the way they
Yep.
want to
Maybe
keep
Okay.
taxes.
Good.
reasons
Yep.
or
No,
something.
that's probably a reason. You're right.
Yeah, it might be over that, they don't qualify.
A
for
certain.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yep. $5.99. So next we are at American Red Cross for $500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a separate?
No.
Is that our separate one?
No.
No, that-
They didn't request this year.
No,
Oh,
the
you
Red
did.
Cross.
You
is-
won.
No,
The
Red
Salvation.
Cross is
You
Salvation Army,
whittled
not the
them
Red
down.
Cross.
Good. You won.
I would think, even though they didn't
Playing the
send us
long
a
game.
letter, that we would continue to
Yeah.
support them. I know that they support, I know they're there for when we have house fires, and
Yeah,
they've
no, that's-
supported families.
But-
I can't.
They're not a church.
Yeah. So that was the
Yeah.
one. Okay.
No, but
I
she's
just want to
saying
be
they didn't
sure.
send a letter.
Oh, right.
this
No,
year.
no, that's fine.
I agree
Yeah.
with you, Leanne. I think
I'm a yes
they
on
do
that
great
one,
service
too.
all around the world, in
Yeah.
essence.
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
Not alone in our.
Right, of course.
All right, I think we're talking about two different things.
Yeah.
We are.
One group is talking about American Red Cross and one's talking about Salvation.
Right,
Now
we're talking about American Red Cross, because
Red
that's the
Cross,
line
okay.
item we're looking
Yeah.
at for $500.
I'm not
They
going there.
didn't send a letter this year, and I was just saying.
American
let's-
Red Cross did.
Yeah,
No,
it's the
they-
Salvation Army.
The
That's why
Salvation
I'm
Army
confused.
did.
Yeah. We're right.
Okay,
Now we're all on
I
the same
mistook
page.
that. Now I see where
I'm
we
up
got
with
the
the
difference.
Salvation Army.
So we're a yes on the Red Cross.
Said,
Correct.
the Safe Voices has conflict.
So they were going to attend tonight, but then they had a conflict and could not send someone.
Okay.
They thought, well, we originally had said like it was going to be later in the month.
Right.
I would still support
I
them.
support
Yeah.
Safe Voices.
At 500, correct? Yeah. Okay, so Cancer Resources.
Again, I'm going to suggest we give them more than 250. I know that, that's,
Well, they're going to ask for more next year.
Yeah, I'm with
they
Sean.
are,
that would
but
be-
they need it this year. She was talking about
And then
that.
if we give them 5 or something, they're going to
Yeah.
come in with 750 or something higher
Okay.
next year. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not
Sean
disagreeing
brought
with
up just, hey, you can say it again, Sean.
What's that?
See, we-
Say it again to Andy because he missed it.
Oh, I mean, it's just, I'm hesitant to get into the precedent of
Giving if they
deciding
don't
to give
ask.
more
Yeah.
than what's been asked.
Okay.
I'm not,
I agree
I'm
with
not-
that. That's
again,
a
I
good
don't,
point.
they probably deserve it. They might be the most deserving group on there. I
Yeah.
just
And
feel
because we're going to drop this into a clump with the rest that have to be up or down voted to the town, right? The town can't come and say we want to give more from the floor?
Correct.
Correct.
Unless it's an
Without
open
redoing
meeting.
the whole, yeah. So I'm going to stick
See,
with
that
Sean
takes all
on
the
that.
fun out of town meeting. You used to be able to go for 3 hours on $50 more for the dog catcher.
Times
So
have
may
changed.
I just say that in 2020, 25, 26, Cancer Resource did request 100. We gave them 250.
Right.
But that's what we did last year, right?
Right, which is
Yeah.
why she went to 250.
So to say that we're not setting, you know,
precedent.
Right, we already did it. I still
So
don't
you
think,
wanna
yeah.
I'm not saying,
imagine I
I'm not
agree.
supporting one, I'm
I
just
mean, this
saying
is
what
just a
we've
straw
done
poll. We're not,
in the
this is
past.
not.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, that's, my feeling is that the 500 that she's going to ask for next year, she's going to need this year.
And if it's been done before, I have to say I could spend an extra 250, so I would support 500 on that one too.
Okay.
And I think
Ultimately,
we're seeing that 250 because they're hesitant, they know that times
Right,
are tough,
right.
so they're hesitant thinking the towns are just going to say no.
Times are tough.
But they are, but,
Yeah,
but $300, we just said no to Spurwink for $300.
Agreed.
So that keeps our, that we can easily give them the 500 and still stay flat funded. $50 cheaper, actually.
Well, that's with that, we don't know yet.
Right.
Funded, but
So just for a tally, I will say who would support the 250?
For the Cancer Center?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm in for the 250, but I think I'm going to get outvoted, which is fine. It's
And
just
then, just for a tally, who would support the 500? I would.
I would
Aye.
support the 500.
Okay. We'll go from
And
there.
the board.
What do you
Andy?
guys feel?
Yeah, it's,
I considering this year, I would just keep it at 250. And I agree, I understand what you guys are saying totally.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily against it. It just, since they're asking for that. And we're gonna be, at least I'm looking at, trying to pinch pennies here
I'm
and there.
flexible on this
You
one.
know what I mean? I would just leave it at
I
Everybody
could see
needs
either
it.
side, but I'd
Yeah.
stay with it. I
Just
tend to
good.
stay with this 250.
Okay, so we'll continue that.
That would be
Camp Susan Curtis increased to 2,000.
Doubled it, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in for 1,000.
Do we
I
have?
Yeah.
I agree with
Recommend for
1,000.
1,000.
I'm just looking to see if they have a justification for that
They have a letter.
in their letter. Yeah.
How many children, do they say
4.
4 children from Denmark?
Yeah.
But doesn't the Lions Club pay
Yes.
their tuition?
No,
Ooh, I
they
don't-
they do donate.
Yeah.
They do donate towards it,
Definitely.
and so-
Yeah.
because isn't it through?
They
Okay.
donate like 1,000, I think at least 1,000.
Oh, I can tell you that it's certainly not fully covered by the Lions. I know that.
No, but they donate
they donate
1,000 too,
something,
so
yeah.
between the Lions and the town is
Right.
2,000,
So
as a
if we
combo.
stayed,
At 1,000.
with what we're paying for, if we still continue with $1,000, they're still getting funding from like the Lions
Yeah,
Club.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
not losing
The
anything.
Lions are gonna give to it again this year.
I'm
It's like we're doing right, Nathan. It's-
Consistent.
They're going down the list and they're not
Yeah.
looking at removing anybody for the people that they've been giving.
So if
to.
we stayed at 1,000, we're not,
Again, it's a
They
tough
still
time.
have their funding,
$1,000
yeah.
is a lot if we're
Right.
trying to, find
Right.
things all over the budget.
So just to vote, I would support 1,000.
$1,000.
1,000.
Sean.
Yep.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. Sweester.
If I don't like something, I'll let you know.
Sweester is doubling theirs to 500. That's on page 37.
Still this early.
And thank you for numbering.
Yeah.
It's been a real help.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah, 2,500. So they provide almost 60, well, $59,300.17, but they only receive $58,899.93 in payments.
That's $400.24 difference.
What, the community is Denmark, or is that the surrounding?
I can't
area?
It says our community. No, it
Yeah.
says this year alone,
Okay.
Denmark residents
In the
receive.
past year alone,
Six
yeah,
Denmark.
6 Denmark residents.
Oh, there we go.
It would be nice to know if that was projected to be the same number this year.
Does anybody know
I don't
about,
know.
I mean, sometimes those services to Sweetser are also, I believe, funded by the school district if there is,
I don't know.
so I don't know if we're also indirectly paying for that. I don't know if that is, that's included with those numbers or if that's a separate number.
There's nobody here to ask.
Right.
All right. So
Okay. I'm going to recommend that we stay with our, consistent with our number.
I agree with that.
all right. So Sue would
250?
support that 250.
Yes.
Myself. Yes. I'll agree with that. All right. Next we have Helping Hearts.
They're not requesting
Is
anything.
that? I don't have a number there. Is that a no for them?
It says they're not requesting anything, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Perfect.
I'm okay with
I'll
that.
be a wise guy. Do you guys sure you don't want to give them something?
Don't know what they didn't send anybody. I don't know what they do.
May I ask you a question, Betty? Do you remember what they specifically do? I can't remember off the top of my
The
head.
Helping Hearts was a new organization last year that came to us and I actually supported because
Right.
it helped with like people that I could turn away from general assistance for clothing, personal supplies.
Right.
So
Do
and
you
they,
still do that?
they were out of.
Or did they disband? Do you still send people
So
that way?
we never heard anything, and I looked them up, and I couldn't quite tell from. It looked like the website was still operating, but it was hard to tell, and and we, we've sent several emails.
And they haven't
And they
responded?
Haven't responded.
Closed down. Took our $300 and pizza party. No.
But perhaps they got funding, maybe they ended
Elsewhere.
up getting
Hopefully
grant
they're
or.
helping people.
Oh, I remember looking this up and being
Right,
not
didn't we do a lot of
impressed.
research?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a no for me. We're not even discussing that. All right,
It's a yes for me. They're not asking for anything.
Yeah. So locals, the Arts Center.
It's a yes.
Yes. The library is a yes for me. The Historical Society is
I don't know about that presentation.
is a yes for me.
Of course.
Quality in comparison to other.
And so the Veterans Committee,
I would stay at
committee.
500.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say
500 for me too.
It seemed, I volunteered last year and I haven't heard from him. This is the first time I've heard from him again.
Yeah,
I volunteered
I mean-
to help him out. I haven't heard anything at all, so.
I'm on the committee. And
You
I
pretty
didn't
much-
want to, I've tried to tell Rick a couple times now. We had a couple meetings a couple years ago. We kind of set this up and you helped us, Leanne, with the ancestry and started to go through all this stuff. We haven't met since.
Right.
So Rick's kind of running off. He keeps saying how much this thing costs, and I have no idea as a committee member what's going. It's going there. It's not going to fall apart, but we just need to kind of, as a committee, meet again and really start to. And maybe Leanne, you could kind of.
Is that 29 timeline?
Yeah.
Like,
I have no idea. I can't answer
I
that.
would think between the two of you, if you directly say to him, we need to have a meeting.
I told him that. I said, we can't.
I have too. I've had that.
We can't, you can't just keep asking for money, but, because we don't know what
I'm a
the
veteran.
situation is for new names on, that.
Yeah.
You're not gonna take any off, but.
I've heard,
we're
I've
just.
heard this from several.
I'm a
So-
veteran.
so you-
I'm happy
and-
to see it, but I'm not looking to give him $500 if there's no plan.
No, I think
So-
the 500's okay, because it is gonna happen,
So
and
it
I
is-
think it's a good thing.
So let me, for what I'm aware of, he's done a lot of this on his own.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's done a
And
lot of
so
work.
he's done a lot of research. He's on names. And one of the things I didn't ask him was if he's adding Vietnam War era and.
That was to be discussed by the committee.
Right, it should be.
We're done.
And that's, and what is, the Middle East conflict, I
Yeah,
know
he's
there's a name for that, but I
Desert
can't remember.
Storm. Yeah.
Desert Storm. So that should be discussed. I know he's researched independently, and he's got a design here that he's done on his own of the monument, but this is all on his own. So when I said to him, this is a committee, you should be working with a committee, and amongst the committee, some of the things like you were talking about, like location and groundwork, like he intimated, and this is the first I've heard it, of location of the monument, because it sounds like to me he has a different idea of location than anybody else. Now, to me, I think that's kind of something that should be not only just the committee, but with the town, working with the town. You shouldn't go off on your own and make these decisions.
Has there been a committee meeting since the last budget?
No, it's a number of years. No, it's
Okay.
been a number.
I'm going to say absolutely no. No money at all. I'm going to vote against money for this until there's a committee, a meeting, and a plan. We don't know where it's going to be. Rick's got great plans, but that's all. It's great
Where's
plans.
this money being held right now?
It's
The general
that,
fund.
where all the
I think
other
he had some-
nonprofit kind of things are held.
It's held with, everything's on the up and up, so
Yeah,
there's
everything's
no
on the
like.
I'm not
It's
saying,
held in that
I'm
Betty
not saying
White
he's
Act.
screwing people. I just don't
It's
want
held
to
with the
spend any money.
charitable-
Yeah, whatever, all these.
It's
all
with the
these places
charitable
belong.
foundation,
Yes.
and
It's
the
done
thing is
all
you could
properly.
have this, if you attend the charitable foundation meeting on Thursday, if you're one of the organizations that are participant, I would think when it's his turn to talk, that whoever is here that would be present would say to him the things we're discussing now. I also, on the fundraising part, he has been a big supporter of the returnable bottles at the
Yes.
dump, and the Historical Society itself decided not to participate like directly, like the monthly pick, however they do it. So those monies are, whatever the Historical Society, that's going to the veterans. So his month, they would have a month, and then what would have been the Historical Society's, that's going towards it. So he is, if if you're going for a grant or something, he really is doing the work. But
He's
when I
not
say-
asking for much help.
Bingo. And I think a number of us, and as Betty said, there's other people who are not present here who are veterans, who were members of the, who consider themselves members of the committee, is saying, why aren't we having meetings? And I think that's something that needs to be addressed with
Yeah,
Rick.
because he's the guy to do it. I'm not, he's the guy we want to keep doing it. We just have to, because he's willing to lead it, and then that's the
Right.
important thing.
And
So,
I think
you know,
he's one of those people that takes off and.
He's got a lot of stuff on his plate. It
Right.
seems like he'll jump in, and so,
Right.
yeah.
And, but you really need to have it, the committee, and you need to have the town represented, which Andy, where you're a selectman, I think you'd be a great resource of communicating with the town and being a father of a veteran.
Well, I'm on the committee anyway.
Right, well, that's what I'm
So,
saying.
initially-
But you could keep the town updated.
I think you
Yeah.
make a really good point, Michael. So I guess my position is going to be, I'm okay with the 500 this year. That would be, over 2 years, that would be $1,000. That's roughly 4% of what they're asking. But without any movement after 2 years and $1,000 from the town, I'd be really hesitant to
Same.
Fair enough.
support it on
I think that's
on
fair.
the third year.
You know, to do it this year, and then that's the codicil we have
I
on
mean,
it, so.
I'm unaware of
Yeah.
all of this stuff, and had I known, I would have asked, but I
Asked him,
didn't
yeah.
know. So it would be, I would feel a little bad having the opportunity to ask and not knowing and not asking and not.
We'll make sure
Finding
it
it.
happens,
Okay.
okay? Just
Fair
wait for the
enough.
next one so we get it straightened out. Because Rick is doing a good, he's,
Yeah. He's a person, he likes,
yeah,
he's very
he's got
independent.
the right mind. It's just, you gotta, just.
Right, his
Rein
heart's
him
in the
in.
right place.
Rein him in.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, so support for the 500. Can we just
Yes.
get votes on that? I'm a yes.
I'm a no,
Oh, no.
until we
Okay.
have better plans.
Yeah, fair enough.
I say 500. What, you said
I'm-
500? I said, I
no,
thought
I'm
you
a
said
no.
500.
He's saying no.
I'm a no, I'm no,
So I'm
until
forgiving
there's a better plan.
500, but we'll make sure they meet this year. That's my vote.
Okay.
So
All right. Moving
So
on
what does it
to.
come out to?
Say that again.
Yeah, so what is it, what's the
I'm,
final
I
verdict?
think Mike was the only
We're
one.
three,
Oh,
four, yeah,
no,
3 to
no,
1. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I thought it was
No,
the
you're
other way
good.
around.
New agencies. The community center. do
I
we-
would support them,
So
adding
they-
them to the list.
The Bridgeton
I would- The community center, I would add them move them from new requests up into the agency requests, because they really do a lot with it quietly in the community, that a lot of people they don't turn people from Denmark away.
But to me, it just seems like it's another food opportunity that it's in another town. I mean, I just think for
But they
Denmark.
do
All
more.
of our food opportunities are in
Right.
other
Okay,
towns.
but it's
Yeah.
not just the food. They do other things that support the community.
What, some more Denmark?
Yeah, I
Again,
think,
it's-
I think
it's
more
the-
people from Denmark probably go over there for their offerings than you'd be aware of. I mean, and, like a $250 or $500 towards it, I would think is a positive.
So I would just, I think kind of to Betty's point, if we didn't have these things and then Denmark, for whatever reason, has to support, whatever food pantry, whatever you want to call that, I think that would essentially be much more costly than supporting these, even though they're outside the town. I think they really do serve the town. So
They do.
Wasn't that Navigator part what they do at our library?
That's a different thing.
No?
Oh, no, she mentioned the Navigator.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
I
isn't
was
that we
thinking
do
the
that kinda like
Navigator
that,
as,
then we buy it, don't
sorry,
they
I
have
was confusing
computers
that with the
and-
charitable fund, with
Part
the
of
Chamber
the
of Commerce.
Denmark Library, don't they provide that kind of resource with helping and people going there and stuff?
But I think that person who does it is kind of aging out, is down the road, I think that person may not be available. But I do know people who use those, and it's different people than you would expect. Sometimes when you find yourself in either a health or taxes. They also do, they have a day or several days when they help people with their income taxes that once we're able to afford an accountant that can no longer afford an accountant because of what's happening in their personal life, that they're doing people's income taxes for free. It's not just food security, it's other activities that they're doing. They quietly do.
How much are you suggesting we donate to the Bridgeton Food Pantry? $250?
I would
I'm
say
at 250. I would. Excuse me. I would support 250.
I would support 250. When I look at these outside agencies and local nonprofit organizations, I look at them and say, how are they helping people? How are they helping the people of Denmark? And I'll generally vote when somebody wants to help the people of Denmark and within a reasonable rate.
Yeah.
Within our reasonable budget, I can do that.
Is this the first year that they've come to us?
This is the fifth year they requested, it says.
This is their fourth
Yeah.
year.
Oh, that's community center, or are we talking Bridge Food Pantry?
No, we're talking community center.
I'm sorry.
This was the
I
lady
thought we
that
were done.
spoke.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
the lady
Set
is
the
spoke.
envelope.
I thought
The one in
you had
yellow.
already did the food pantry. All right.
No,
So I guess, it's one of those things too that
That's what you're saying.
you don't want to turn people away, but
Right.
just in this evening, and I don't know everybody's financial situations, but the town would be spending money, and it appears that anybody from Denmark could go, regardless of their income, and go enjoy or have a meal over
but you
there,
could
correct?
say that about anything that's on the list above.
Yep.
And I just think, especially when funding.
Well, I think
and
some of
grant-
those have income requirements for some of those.
Yeah, but the thing is, one of the things that they're quietly doing is, some of the things that I just mentioned, these are people who are middle class, that all of a sudden find themselves in an economic or health situation, and they are helping people, and they're not turning them away. I just think that this is Denmark's small way of supporting them.
I'd also.
It's not just the most impoverished.
Did she give us a?
What I would also that social isolation. That's not an economic issue. Having access to a community dinner has
But
nothing to do
that's
with
not
income.
even what I'm even mentioning.
No, that's what I
know-
brought up.
Right, that has nothing to do with what I brought up. They're
Is she the one who mentioned
they're helping
67?
people in ways that she didn't even mention. The income tax support.
It's on page
um,
49, but
that I'm totally aware of, and just different services and helping people navigate finding services. I know somebody who I just heard that they were just prescribed a medication they have to have, the family member has to have, that they can't afford. They're helping them find the grants to pay for that medication that no other organization on the list above is providing that service. They're helping them navigate to find funding for prescriptions and things like that you can't afford.
Yeah, the 5,000 meals a year, kettle dinners every other week. The letter says they're asking for 1,500. It says here any amount.
Right. I
The
would
letter,
say,
page 49, the letter, she says they're requesting $1,500 in financial support.
I would go with 250 and go up from there, but I really think we should support them. And out of some of those, like say, of some of the other new requests, I would support them over some of the others. And we haven't even gotten to the food pantry.
Right.
So for voting purposes, I guess let's see who would support a $250 line there. I would.
I would.
Yes.
I don't have to think about it, but you've got your 3 votes, so it really doesn't matter at this point.
It's not a new request either. It's not.
3 if it's,
A new funding, I guess, not a new
Yeah.
request.
Yeah, I would.
You would support it?
Yeah.
All right, then now they have their 4 votes, because there's 6
No,
of
because
us.
it's the budget committee
Yeah,
makes
it's the
a
budget
recommendation
committee,
and the
right.
selectmen.
You're going to write yours
Yeah.
two
separately.
different.
They're 2 different committees.
Oh, but I thought we
Right.
kind of.
We're just
Yeah,
straw
just
polling.
like straw poll.
Okay, I see what you're saying. That's
We're
fine.
just straw
straw
polling
poll.
tonight.
Okay.
Okay, so square on that one. The food pantry.
Can I just jump in?
Oh, yeah.
We skipped one because Bridgeton Chamber should be on
Yeah.
the other ones.
Yeah.
And
So we
actually
missed
Harvest
that.
Hills needs to
Is
also,
it-
because we have a letter from Harvest Hills. and that's not on here.
Right, okay,
Betty,
so the Chamber of
Because they're
Commerce.
handled under,
you missed them from the start. Yeah,
The
we got
cha-
that. from-
I thought Harvest Hills was an
Oh,
automatic.
Harvest Hills.
But she doesn't have it on the list.
Yeah, but Harvest,
But don't we pay something?
Harvest Hill
Oh,
paid
do we
through
pay
the
them
dog.
separate?
Dog.
Separate warrant?
they're
that's
in a
the-
separate warrant.
Yeah.
It's a standalone. But it comes out of the dog collection fees anyway,
Right,
the
right.
licensing fees.
Not,
Okay.
well, yeah, we're
Thanks for.
kind of
May I ask you a
depleted
question?
that too.
Is the
That's fine.
Chamber of Commerce normally in?
The Chamber of Commerce, we have not given to. I was looking back.
She admitted last year they were in
Yeah.
shambles.
My
When
vote's
they were
no.
here, they
I
were
wanted
not
to
supported.
ask about that because I know they've sold their original building
And they're
and,
renting. on
and they're-
their budget,
right.
as their budget says they rent.
and I wanted to ask what happened because in the past I've had a working relationship with, and we're talking more than 10 years ago. And it's like, what happened to them?
We have never given to them.
I don't see what they bring to Denmark.
I say,
I'm a hard no on that.
Yeah.
15,000 for the guide production and 3,600 for a website. So like I said, that's $18,600 that we would get a portion.
You have Jim Bob's in there.
And isn't it?
Yeah, right.
It's
Everybody knows Jim Bob's.
$113,000
They don't need
budget.
to be in
And
there.
doesn't the way our Chamber of Commerce works, if I'm correct, like
Commerce.
Jim Bob's would have to pay them to be represented by
Correct.
the, so.
Correct.
Yeah,
As a
so
membership.
that's a hard
Yeah.
no.
Well, plus you have
Right.
Sebago.
There's
There's
13 now.
monster towns in there that could use
Yeah.
that exposure.
There's
that
probably
they're
No, she
pushing.
said there's,
We don't have.
there's
it.
13 towns, but they're not representing towns, they're representing businesses.
Exactly.
And
As a
especially the-
business,
yeah.
I'll probably join now that they cover
Yeah.
Denmark as well. I will probably become
Yeah.
a member as a
Yeah.
business owner of a corporation. I will probably sign up as a member, but I don't think taxpayer money should be supporting a
And
charity.
especially the camps where I don't think those camps support. I don't know anybody locally who
No.
benefits
Hey,
from those. That's
can
a
you tell me
hard
about the
for
Pleasant
me.
Mountain House in Denmark as a historical? You see it listed under
Yeah.
Denmark Museums and Historic Sites. The Denmark Historical Society, the Historic Pleasant Mountain House, the
What
Green
about
Pinnacle
Green
Resort
Pinnacle
History.
Resort history. I've never heard of Green
No,
Pinnacle.
Isn't that
it
yellow-
was on
That's
top
what
of
they're
the mountain.
advertising.
What is
Well,
that yellow
I think
building
that
at
what
the
they're
bottom of
talking
the
about
trail,
is, but that
maybe?
was
That's
like
what I'm
100 years ago.
Yeah, it was a century ago, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the one
Thinking,
that-
I know what you mean now.
So I think for on the chamber, we're.
So maybe
no.
I won't become a member, but it's not taxpayer funded. It's not something that should be
Yeah, so
funded
chambers
for
and no.
taxpayers.
I agree.
Okay. So and Harvest Hills, are we agreed that's
That's
a
separate.
non-issue,
Separate.
correct? Okay. So that brings us to Maine mental health.
No. How about food pantry?
Oh, I'm sorry. Do they have?
We're already given to the
Yes,
Brownfield
it's right
one.
underneath the community center.
Are we? I don't see Brownfield.
$1,000.
Yeah, it's
Southwest
The Southwest
We give to
Oxford.
Southwest
Brownfield.
Oxford.
I'm going to
Yeah.
tell you that Denmark people use both, and they go to Harrison.
Tell them to go to Brownfield. That's what
Uh-huh.
this is for. Tell them to
We
go to
said yes.
Brownfield. I'm just kidding.
The folks,
I just, there's more and more families that are in need that are finding themselves at the end of the month.
yeah, especially with.
And I
agree
know
with
that some families, like 1 week, they'll go, I think each of these three organizations stagger their weeks and open days of when they supply families. And even if it's a minimal amount, I think we should support the food banks if they request it.
My only thought on that is I agree with what you're saying, is that from what I've at least asked questions about and been told is there's no criteria anymore for food banks. You could just go there, even when towns from out of towns. So
Well, I
the
don't know
people
about-
that really
well, I
need
don't
them
know
need to
about-
go there, but how many more of those people really should be going there?
Are you-
They don't
I
track that
guess
anymore.
is your question?
So I'm a little,
I think if you're going to a food bank and the embarrassment and humiliation of asking
well.
for food, I think the numbers who would do that are minimal into the people who actually have a real need.
Are people going to cheat? Sure. I don't care.
And that's my
Other
question.
Well,
people-
but I
other
guess,
people who
I
need
guess
it
my
need it.
point was in the past, they did try to keep track to make sure people that really needed it
I just think it's
need to come.
overwhelming their need. I know Harrison has been like a leader of getting food, of obtaining food for the others and helping. And I've seen like lineups of cars when I've been going back and forth.
Oh,
to the
Harrison's
nurse.
huge.
All
Yeah.
of
Harrison's a huge.
All
see-
of them.
Well, how many people in town of Denmark are on SNAP? Do we know?
I don't think you would know.
I do not.
Oh, I
don't think that's something you would know.
I don't think
I would
it's.
think there was something they'd let us know, but yeah, quite a few, I'd imagine.
And I think the reason, I understand you want like maybe you want a fine line of who can access these.
That's
and
how
who-
they started.
Yeah.
Right, but I
But
think
now they've
Well, you know,
mushroomed
the thing
in.
is with income, there are families that are working 2 and 3 jobs, and they're just barely paying their bills, and they don't have enough money for food at the end of the month. And I know if people on retirement, it seems like, say you're getting Social Security or whatever, that at the end of the month, there's a lot of insecurity.
Yeah.
And it's
your property
growing.
taxes go up.
Right, and you know what?
Because the town spends money.
Right, and I know that it's a.
I'm not talking about this particular
right.
line, but in general.
In general,
the
of
more we
course.
spend, the more
Yes,
burden we're putting on these people.
I agree.
And I think it's just harder and harder for young families and retired people. And so I'm in support of it. And even if it's just a minimal amount of $100, I just think it's important that we support the surrounding, because they're not saying no to Denmark residents.
Right. So I'm going to suggest.
What amount did we suggest here? Because there was no, it said something in the letter, but I don't
It
remember.
doesn't say any, doesn't give us an
No, I'm
amount.
talking about the one before.
Their letter actually says 1,500.
They asked for
We said
1,500 last one.
250.
Okay, all right, that's what I want to make.
So that's what we
I
voted
would
on.
even go
Yes.
with $100.
So-
That's,
I was just looking clarification on the last one.
right.
So I'm going to suggest for the food pantry, 250. Can we vote on that?
I'm happy with 250.
I would support that as well.
I am too.
Okay.
That's
Sean.
Yeah.
Okay.
10 meals.
So that's how I feel about that. Maine. Now we can move on to Maine Home Health. Correct.
Maine Health.
And I do not see
Hospice, they're at page 51.
Yeah, no
They
money
don't, it
request.
says every gift, no matter the size.
It's for hospice.
I'm gonna say no because I don't see a number and I don't see any.
They,
As much as I'm living in this world right now, I would agree with that too.
I promise you, Maine Health
Agree with what?
has the money and resources to.
I know that.
I've been receiving bills that the VA pays on my behalf from Maine Health lately, and they got the money.
And we support Anwell, and Anwell does hospice as well.
Yes,
Yes.
Just to point that
and
out.
other organizations, and I think sometimes the hospice is being paid through your health insurance and also VA services.
So we square on that?
Yep.
Okay, and Maine Public.
I'm a member of
$100.
Maine Public. It's a hard no for me. I'm not giving them
yeah.
taxpayer money.
I'm a no as well.
No.
On the very last
We did
one.
have, yeah, sorry.
Oh, is that what, am I interrupting for
So
what you?
we did have a new request come in for Team Haley Hugs, and I gave you their letter this afternoon, or tonight.
The one with this insignia on the top.
Yes.
Oh.
Where's? Oh, there it is, okay.
Yeah. Here, I'll look on yours. Instead, I look at it. Haley Hugs. Awareness Children Fighting Cancer in Maine. Awareness?
Where we're already or newly supporting the other cancer group. I could go either way.
That's
I
a-
couldn't, I'm not a yes, but I'm not a no.
That's just a no for me.
I'm a no. If we were going to donate anything to them, I don't know that they're doing anything in our towns at all. But I know for sure that the other one is.
Yeah, agreed. So that's a no for me. Okay.
And if they want, come and make their case next year.
That's everybody, correct?
That is everybody correct. I would like to just say with the local nonprofit organizations, I was just made aware of this the other day and have not received any more information on it, but Northeast Bank actually offers what they call community grant programs. And any municipality that supports a local nonprofit, there's certain criteria here. I'm not sure if it's the nonprofit that applies or if the town supports it, but they will match grants up to $2,500.
Good, jeez.
So I'm going to look more into that, and I can.
Let's fully fund that cancer.
I can hand out that information if it is the nonprofits that, apply for those.
Are you going to the Charitable Foundation meeting on Thursday?
I am going to be in sunny Florida on Thursday.
Whereabouts?
Enjoy.
Englewood.
Nice, enjoy.
So there's a ton of, Lions is good, they do a lot in the community, but there's a ton of other type of fraternal organizations in there who also do, Masons. I'm a Mason. I don't think any of these people ever reach out to the Masonic halls, and there's 190 Masonic halls in the state, and the Grand Lodge has a lot of money that they will match grants as well for a lot of these. So a lot of these organizations should be doing more to reach out to other organizations.
They might not have
Rotary.
to if we fund them.
Huh?
But they might not have to if we fund them.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
You always do. But sometimes you're just not aware of these
Right.
sources.
Right.
And
Yep.
like you said, like if these aren't, like say if the Masons or Northeast Bank aren't on the grant writing places, there's hubs that they were mentioning one of them, and it's like a hub of information. And if they're not on there, then you wouldn't be you wouldn't have the knowledge to apply for it.
Well, I see the same thing with the Veterans Memorial. There's a perfect project for an Eagle Scout, somebody looking to become an Eagle Scout. This happens all the time in towns. It happened in Cusick Falls. The kid that was his Eagle project. He raised the money and had had their monument put in. That's what his Eagle Scout project was. It doesn't have to be taxpayer money. And $27,000, not that big of a deal for an Eagle Scout project.
Well, so far, it's only
Believe it or
been
not.
$1,000.
Right.
500.
No, but his
They're
anticipated
five-
was 27,000
No,
to
no,
fund
no,
the
no.
whole thing.
No, but so far, the money he had,
Yeah.
that we've raised so far, only 500 last year came from the town.
Right.
The rest of it's been work and
Right, come-
donations.
sure.
And hopefully it'll continue that way.
I have no problem with it.
Yeah.
I just don't,
Yeah.
there's no plan yet. I don't.
Yeah. Oh, I agree
throwing a lot of
totally
money
with
at
you.
it.
I think we all agreed on that. That's
Is that all we had tonight?
I don't think so.
So do you want to,
Got a lot of other stuff?
with Luke and Rusty here, how far do we want to go down
I will,
into
I will leave that to you. I was hoping.
Can you summarize, I guess, what our last packet
I was hoping
was?
for some direction, just so when we meet again, but
That's good.
I guess my biggest question, what I've been thinking about, maybe just is how close are you to hearing from Sebago Technics? Is that once that land is surveyed and whatever? Is that what gets the plan? Is that what you need to get the most further along? Because I'm not sure.
so.
With the salt shed,
With the salt shed.
Yeah.
There is already $50,000 that the selectmen have put into the building and repair, the building capital fund from FEMA grant money that we received that can help with the first stages. And when I say first stages, I mean like the survey, getting an RFP ready, getting it ready to go out to bid. So the next step is to have Sebago Techs come in. They're going to have a proposal ready for the 17th for the select board meeting on a survey and a plot plan that will include the town digging test pits their Sebago Tech's here, but the town's going to be digging test pits so they can do some soil exploration.
You're saying March, I guess, does that get you really a lot further along than we are right now?
Yes.
I guess that's my question. Okay.
So, I was just talking informally here at the end of the last meeting with Luke, and I don't want to speak for him, but in our discussion, I think it's, if this is a $600,000 project, I think it's reasonable to come up with an additional 50 or 75 or 100, that whatever we can afford in this situation, but to not bond it through the municipal bond bank or some other for 5 years, or, I don't think it's going to have to be too long, that we can handle 5, 6, whatever that issue is. I think that's really the only route we have, rather than trying to come up with $600,000 in a budget of 2.
Oh, you'd never raise, you'd be
Yeah,
so
I
far
think,
above your numbers.
we
Yeah, there's
I
no
think
way.
we need to figure out the seed money that needs to move forward.
We were almost halfway there based on what people were asking. They're asking for 300,000 in the budget, right, that you've cut out.
The
Betty?
capital.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
capital.
the
So, 600 wasn't that far away. If you're thinking if it's gonna, and again, I'm just throwing it out there, if if we go back and look at some of the stuff Betty prepared and say, well, if we don't put any other capital anywhere else and just, raise whatever, 300 this year, 300 next year, or 600 this year, without trying to bond it, it's not as, I think, unfeasible as you think.
And I think,
Because it's for a reason.
What's the downside of a bond?
I think the Maine municipal bond rates usually are, it's super low.
No, it's 4 or
percent.
5%.
They'll be about 5%.
That's not that low.
5%?
Well, if you're only going to bond it for 4 years or
Well, Betty was saying 10. That's the difference, 4 years or 10. But then if you're doing it for 4 years, you're paying a lot more too.
I'd rather see it spread out. I think the bond's the only way to go.
I think you put it to the town. You
So
give
they
them both
usually-
out.
Well, it's going to go to the town
Yeah.
anyway.
So
I'm just
what,
saying, I think-
I guess what
And have different scenarios.
the decision would be is if we actually want to put in a figure in the town warrant, or do we just want to make a presentation at the town warrant to say this is where we are at, this is what, I'm hoping by June, we will have like bids in, we'll know a more definite on, cost, what direction, what kind of building it's gonna be. But to have all of that prepared by the time we have to put the warrant out at the end of April, beginning of May, I'm not sure if we would
That's
have
the
all of
timeline
that.
that's what I'm thinking.
So
too,
do we go to town meeting with a presentation and say, this is where we are at so far? We intend to hold a special town meeting. At that point, we would probably have a date, or do we go into town meeting saying we want to raise $500,000 or, and actually put an article in with a dollar figure?
My recommendation would be to come with a sum of either 50 or 100, whatever it is, to move the ball forward, come up with that town meeting and say, if you vote for this, this will require a special town meeting at a later date. You go to your special town meeting at the later date with one or two ways, two different options, or whatever, or one option to fund it, and tell them, if you vote this down, this is fine, we're gonna come back next month or whenever, you have to have the note, and with the second way to, now, for me, I'm just,
I think the two
and-
choices in the one meeting is a smarter idea to go.
So to throw, yes, and to just throw another wrench in this. If we do a special town meeting and we have to raise by taxes, then we are doing 2 commitments. Because we have one commitment for our regular town meeting, and then we're gonna have to recommit for any additional funds that we raise.
So it
Have
really
never been
puts-
through that experience before. We'll have to research that experience.
So it really puts, like, the selectmen, the town itself, into it seems like time is moving quicker than the information flow is, and what you need to have to ask, and it's really putting everybody in a really difficult position of...
You're right.
But
You're
you
right.
have the money for that survey already.
We
right?
have the
You
money
to-
for the
yeah, you don't have
survey.
to raise it.
And I believe, I'm going to suggest to the board that we move forward with the survey so we can get the survey done within the next month.
I mean, the building's gonna have to go up eventually, so yeah,
Oh.
Yeah,
something that we need to do.
So the towns are required to have some form of salt protection of the land, correct?
Correct.
My brother works for the town of Bridgeton, and he was telling me, he heard something about this along the way, and he was saying a lot of towns are, you guys were mentioning, and excuse me, because this is my area of expertise, but a more portable or like not less permanent. And he said a lot of the towns that Bridgeton and others, they're not going with the more permanent solution, that they're going with something that's more portable, like because you were talking about the different foundations.
The fabric, right.
And the fabric roof.
Yeah.
He said that it's his experience that more people are going in that route. It's less expensive.
Less expensive.
And
Big
he
reason.
said, like for Denmark, if say you position it someplace and isn't going to work where you're going to build your eventual garage, he said you could pick it up.
Not this thing.
Right.
You'd have to take it apart. It's not, this thing is portable.
No, but your base.
It's not portable.
He said your base. There's some that you could do that your base.
If you do blocks.
Blocks are movable, but your building,
Right.
you're not.
Right. He
You're
said
taking
you
it
can
apart.
use your equipment, excavator.
Yeah, you have to deconstruct it first.
Right, but he said it's more portable than, say, if you put in a permanent building.
Yeah.
But that has nothing to do with our discussion about monies and so forth. That's your decision on what you
So,
decide.
what was it? I know when we first started, it was 2.8 million we were looking at roughly for the budget in total, and now what are we down to?
So I did run new scenarios that I handed out tonight for the mill rate. Andy had asked me to run a few additional. So we are currently, with no capital projects, bare bones at 2.215. So $2,215,000.
And $63.
And $63.
So, then that's 60,000. I mean, if it was 600,000, we're trying to raise that. That's still 27% of the entire budget.
I agree with what you're saying as far as we need to have more definitive data
That's
before we
hard
go
to
to
swallow.
raise a large
It
chunk of
seems
money.
like you don't have enough information for the time frame that we're moving into.
Yeah.
So let's make the town meeting in August. Then we'll have the school budget and
This sounds
pushing
really
it down the road.
crazy, but could we move the town meeting
No,
from, say, the
but-
beginning of June? I know it's
You have to
stupid.
change the town charter.
Right, okay, that's what I would.
remember
I mean,
Are we-
does it
But your
hurt
year starts July 1, though,
to
so.
even
Well, I'm
put a
saying,
warrant article in there?
couldn't you have your town meeting rather than the early June into end of June?
Right,
Would
but
that
your
give
fiscal
the-
year starts July 1, so you don't have much wiggle room from the time you make the.
I'm just trying to help you out here.
No, well, you just have a special town meeting.
Isn't your date the
Right, I mean,
April
that's
when
how
the
you
warrants
But
work.
have
you'd
to
have
be
a
out?
second
That's
commitment.
what I
But anyway, and I don't know what that means,
so
but
many days from.
Right,
you have to
but I'm
explain
saying-
that to me. But
July.
like
It'd
for
be
this
later in
year,
April if it
If
was-
you don't have your
We're not gonna be
information now,
ready.
you can't
It
write a
probably-
warrant for what you don't know. That's why.
I just think
can't
we're
we
really
still
difficult
try to
position here.
appropriate
Right.
some of the money and under the guise that this is going towards the eventual salt shed? Since we have this year, I mean, you'd hate to go by this year
If we got 5
and not
buckets.
do anything.
well, the more that we appropriate, the less we have to.
Exactly,
Right, no,
exactly.
that's why I'm
Now, I'm not
saying,
saying
yeah.
600, but, you know,
Yeah.
200-300, something that, you know, and you can do a presentation that say we think it's gonna be 6, 7, whatever, 100. We're almost there. We might be a lot further, hopefully by June, but in the meantime, at least take the opportunity to, you know, try to be as bare bones everywhere else and try to raise at least that this year. So then next year, whether it's a bond or whether you try to raise some more, you know,
Did that what you found, Betty, that the Maine municipal bond rates are close to 5%?
Even with the rates just going down? Even with the rates just going
Because
down?
buy
They
those,
jump
those
back
returns
down.
are only
mortgages
like
went up when the rates went down,
to
so.
buy them. I mean,
Until they group all of everyone's request, they don't. They can give a historical rate, which has been, you know, in the last couple of years, around 5%.
Around 5.
I have a question. So is this, if we raise the money now and have all the things, is all the work going to be done in this fiscal year? Or is it going to be like 2 years? And my question is, if it's going to be 2 years, could we raise a portion of the money this year and a portion of money next fiscal year?
So
I guess I'm on the same page as you
and I
on that.
understand what Luke is saying, and
Well, I don't know about,
So,
I'm not talking about
time
bonding,
frame,
but.
but time frame.
Payment, raising money in two fiscal years rather than one fiscal year?
I think that will depend on the direction that we want to take it. I honestly believe that if we could fund this, it would all get done in this fiscal year. To get a contractor in, I think we're going to find.
This coming fiscal year, after July 1st.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Sorry. I meant the fiscal year we're talking about.
27. Just for clarification.
So, I think when it comes to some contractors for like site work and concrete, again, we'll put it all out to bid, but I think you'll find some local contractors, perhaps just stepping up with schedule-wise, I'm not saying work, and then from what I can gather from what we have received so far from the company that we went to just get a budgeting quote for the fabric building, and we actually just got one in for a steel building. They're not as far out because they're all prefabbed. Basically, they just have to get a crew here once we're ready and assemble it. So, I honestly think if we can get the funds raised, it would get done within this fiscal year.
That sounds good. I mean, just getting it done because
In fiscal year 27, I should.
it's better having 1 year of temporary trying to get through and makeshift something than just one winter.
So Betty, did you do the millage update the millage thing? or-
Yes, I gave
on
it
the
to
back
you
part?
tonight.
It's the overview mill rate scenarios?
So the,
Oh, it's at the end, okay, overview.
Yeah.
it's this one, Andy.
Yeah, oh, that one? I thought that was the one you sent previously.
Well, I added to the bottom of it.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, I had that one. I was looking at this.
But you say taking 600 plus capital projects, what does that mean?
So it means if we add the capital projects
Oh,
plus
okay.
a $600,000 bond.
The first one was the one I asked you about.
The bond,
The scenario taking 600, but that's with no capital.
so that's with no capitals.
Yeah,
And
gotcha.
in the bond, I believe, I gave those figures at the last meeting, it was like 72,000 or something per year
For 10 years.
for 10 years. And Andy, you had asked, like, if we did the whole 600,000, or that's how I took you, those scenarios are on the bottom.
That's the numbers.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't looking at plus capital. If you're taking 600.
I
wasn't-
figured I'd
yeah, that's
throw it
fine.
in there.
I wasn't even, that just goes out the roof, but yeah. So again, the unassigned, I guess you're saying,
Don't use
based on
that.
your numbers, it's about 700. Should be around 700 at the start of,
That is my guesstimate, yes, with what the figures are looking at now.
So, and then you're saying we have to adhere to the policy that was recently found?
We don't have to,
And never
but
followed in the past?
Maybe we should there be a special town meeting to look at
Well,
that
that's what
policy?
happened.
And Is that
well, the
something you
policy,
all change?
the policy is set for,
Right.
I mean-
within the board.
See, that's the thing that, when I was the secretary on the planning board and Board of Appeals, it was like, there would be, like, you would find, not only for ours, but there wasn't like a central place that everybody kept these policies and whatever. And then all of a sudden it comes out to haunt you like 5 or 10 or 20 years later that there's like.
We're sicking Andy on that project. We're in the process of getting him a 3-ring binder.
Thank you, Andy, because I know it's affected
out of curiosity.
the work of other boards and activities in the past.
He's retired.
Well, I am,
But there should be a central place to keep all these agreements and stuff.
and Brett, that's the goal.
I know when I was on
That's
planning
gonna
board,
be
there
the
was
goal.
like a document about the operation of the planning board. No one in the modern planning board had ever seen it. And then we found it in a file somewhere along the way and was like, surprise. And
So, and that's what the goal is, Leah, is
Thank you.
just to do that.
I appreciate that because I think it
So
would
do we,
make the
because I mean,
selectmen's life.
yeah, it's for everybody's benefit, right?
Yeah, but I mean, just because a future,
Yeah.
past Board of Selectmen instituted a policy, you're not newly elected selectmen
Yeah.
are bound to any policy anyways, unless it's a charter issue. I mean, you can do what you want, as far as I know.
Because Betty, the last, when you look at the 100K, or 100 unanticipated plus 100K building. that's
Where are we?
taken- Just
On scenarios, taxing 600.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
you've had it all along on these.
Right.
So that's a total of 200. So where's the 100K building? What is that?
The capital building fund has like $110,000 in it, so you
Oh,
could.
okay, from the past couple of years.
Right.
Gotcha.
So does the Maine Municipal Bond Bank only bond out 10 years? They don't have shorter terms? Because that would really cut your payments down if you're only bonding that for a 4-year or 5-year period rather
Who's
than
got the
10.
best credit in town? Just take a personal loan, you're gonna still be about 7%, you can do it for 3 years.
I just Googled it quick. I don't know if that's trustworthy, but it said between 2 and 3% for interest rates.
Right.
For the Maine bond bank, but I don't know.
Well, that might be buying the bond. though.
Yeah.
I think that's buying the
I just
bond, your
Googled it quick.
return on when you buy the bond. Because some usually it's like 1.9, that's what I was saying earlier, to 2.3%, I think, is if you,
Oh, yeah.
if you buy a Maine, your return. But I could be wrong about that.
Actually, 5. They will go down to 5.
Yeah, so that's
Five
really
to
gonna cut
30.
They
your
gotta keep their
interest.
2 or 3, and they'll give you 2 or 3 if you want it.
So if you've got the capital fund, you raise another, now you're only bonding, a limited amount of money, 300,000, or whatever it is, for 5 years, and now that gives you a little wiggle room to continue to
That's a
add to
lot
this,
different,
and
Yeah,
then expect one group of people that lived in town for a 2-year period to pay for the entire cost of a salt shed that's gonna provide benefits for hopefully 40 years. But again, this is the first time,
Yeah,
Andy, that
that's a
I've ever
scenario.
been involved in
I
municipal
agree.
government where
Oh.
I've ever advocated for borrowing.
Yeah. So for like the first scenario, you have 100K of unanticipated 100K building. I mean, if you took, and that's with taxing to get the 600. So if you went up to a 200 unanticipated or even 300, since it is kind of a one-off, I know that would knock it down to 400 as a carryover, and maybe that's too low. I don't, it's a discussion.
You're asking the wrong person there, if you're asking me.
I'll look at Betty.
If you're asking me.
Wrong person.
Now that's a great scenario.
But I guess my point there from the mill rate, I mean, right now it's at 9.47. Does it get it a lot closer to 9 or 9.1? I mean, we're at 8. And if you're saying it's going up 10, 11% because you're putting in 600,000, I don't think that's that big of an increase when you have a one-off for a salt shed. It's not for a one-off to pave a road or to do something that's kind of less tangible. But this is a big ticket item that you would get done. I mean, I only look at it because it seems every year they need a new truck almost, and those kind of things, and that's not going away.
I would say- Yeah, this is no comment on the current board or the town manager, but what happens, I think, traditionally is this is the amount of our total budget. Yes, it's a one-off, but people tend to think of, well, what are we going to do about the tax rate and keeping it? It's hard to think that we would go backwards significantly mill rate wise. And I think that's what
then
we
what are you
try
going to do with the
to.
600,000?
What's that?
Yeah, but this is, You're saying you'd keep the same mill rate next year? Would
No,
that-
I'm saying I think towns tend to do that.
Oh, yeah.
I did not
People are
want to do
afraid
it.
of that.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. People are afraid of that.
Yeah.
You just read anything.
Yeah, that's my point. It's like very seldom do
It's
you go
not.
back
It's
down.
not a revenue problem. It's a spending
Yes,
problem. So they just
100%.
want
We
to
were-
never give money back.
Government.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's an issue you have to hurdle. You have to kind of try.
I mean, if we say, let's say
Educate
we've got this huge tax, well, shoot, a significant tax increase this year with the expectation, well, it's going to fall
down.
next year. It may, but the question is, I think we've said in the past, boy, it's nice to have at least some level of
Even as we can.
consistent, especially people on fixed incomes or whatever, that if you're gonna spend an extra $50,000 over 5 years, that might be better than spending the extra, whatever, I don't know, that's just,
May I ask a question? We really haven't kind of brought it up, but it was a discussion last year, maybe over the past, but assessments and the balances, and I know, was it last year and the past 2 years, like the tax assessments, how is that balanced out for this year? And also, doesn't that affect the mill
What
rate?
do you mean balance?
Like the assessments of the property?
Well, there was
Yeah, I
a two.
think-
There was, yeah.
Daddy brought it up the
Yeah.
night you weren't here.
Yeah,
They're-
okay.
It's getting closer than,
It's getting
Yeah.
closer. He has a draft letter for the board, a summary for the next meeting,
For the
but,
percentage that were to the state valuation.
well, just his summary of where we're at now and what he thinks. So we are still below, not what the state asked us to be, but we are still below that market value.
What do you mean?
But it's
For our
still-
assessments
Yeah.
are still
So-
below market
So
value.
what did we do last year? I thought he was.
We
fixing
increased
that.
them, but I'm
He-
telling you.
The rates keep, housing costs keep going up. The price
So,
of
so
housing-
always like
basically, we
3
were,
years
we were near
behind,
100% last year when he finished his exercise. Now you're saying the latest
We're
state
probably at
valuation
80
went
something.
that up 80 something.
I'm not
Okay.
saying the state, the one that he does internally, and like he's looking at them. So I'm not saying that these are the
Right.
state.
So
But-
why are we so off of his internal numbers? Why weren't they corrected last year?
They were. So he
So
keeps,
then what's he basing
He-
his internal numbers?
Hold on, let her talk.
he keeps this running tally of what our average, house and how he is assessing to market value, which he brought up to almost market value last year when he did all of those.
Okay.
And he will do this running tally of homes that have sold in Denmark and compare it to where are we? Are we still good with market value? And we are, again, falling below
To his market value,
to hit,
not the state's, that's what you said.
right.
To the actual market
To the
value.
actual
The
market.
actual, which are
value.
his, which is
Right.
his.
It's always historical.
Yeah.
We're always
So,
playing
no,
catch up.
But where are
one way or the other.
what does he think we're gonna be at with the states? Or he doesn't know yet until he gets
He
that
doesn't
letter?
know yet.
But that's the more critical one, because that's the
How long
one
do they take
with
before
the
they start to
funding and
penalize
stuff.
us for it?
That's the state one.
Yeah. but
Well,
how
that's
long-
why we did the exercise, because we fell below that number
understand.
where they were gonna start taking.
How
away.
long do we have to stay, can we stay below from the state before they start to penalize us? Is it that year?
Yes and no. So this all.
Well,
It's more
So
art than science, okay.
And it's not that we just get penalized, it affects other things. So this year, we actually, if you notice in the budget the first draft I gave out, we actually ended up paying the state back like $25,000, I think it was, in homestead exemptions that they overpaid us
Okay.
because of how our assessments worked out. So it's not just, do we get, a fine?
Right.
It's,
So they screws our budget up.
too, right?
Correct.
Treating them
So-
as district contributions to the school district.
But I thought when we did this last year, we were with the state's value. I know what you're saying about his personal number, but that personal number is just that. It's a personal number that he's tracking based on sales. Now, if he wants to do our assessments based on that, then we need to talk about that, right? I thought he
Well,
was basing it more on reaching the state's valuation, that 2-year-old valuation you get. It's always delayed, whatever, 1 or 2 years.
well,
Which
he's
is
trying
what-
to get it so we don't get into this situation again where we have to do a big increase. So if we do this every other year and adjust assessments, we should be doing it every year. We should be adjusting assessments every year based on the market value that he's running, the true market value. So in 3 years, we're not in the same situation saying, oh crap, now we have to do this big assessment, we have to increase everyone's assessment, by this amount.
And it's a fairness issue, too.
It should.
Well, it's more of a fairness issue, I think, because the mills go down, so it's not like, you still only can get the taxes you need.
If waterfront property in a 4-year span is increased
Yeah,
by
exactly.
30% and off-water property is increased by 5%, but we keep the same valuation, the off-water property people are paying
Well, that's what happened
Yeah.
from COVID in a lot of cases, is that, but the off-water property went up drastically also.
Way more than 30%.
Way more, it wasn't 5%, it might have been 20, and the other went up 30, like they weren't.
In a lot of cases,
Not as
in a
far
lot of
apart.
cases, they doubled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's something I didn't realize was gonna be a long-term thing that we talked about last year.
Well, he said that they should be adjusted yearly to keep up with the market value so we don't fall into
There's
this.
there's a cost to that,
Below
though.
60% within 1 year.
No, but you're gonna, not in 1 year,
Yeah.
but say
It might
if
take
we
a
don't
couple
do
years.
this in like 3 years.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying.
So,
I just, 1 year or something like that might be a little too.
Yeah, but what does it cost us to
'Cause that
not
was-
do it every year, but to do it every other year, as opposed to what it would cost us to do it every year? I mean, not just what we're paying him, but what's the downside of doing every other year financially?
The only downside is if we
It's-
fall below, right? If we fall below
Well, you're
the
paying the
state
guy
number,
anyway.
really, right? It's fairness, it's more of, if we stay above, 70%, whatever that number is, 60%?
yeah.
If we stay above that, we get the full state funding, in essence, right? Homestead rebate, homestead.
I think Michael's
exemption
asking, what is
stuff.
the cost? of
What's it
updating
cost
this
us
every
to
year?
do evaluation?
Well, so what would you think it would cost him to do what we did last year again? 15,000, 20,000? I don't know. Or is it, he set it up now?
We had a
it should be
line item, I
easier.
just don't know where it's at.
But I mean, if he's got the formulas, that shouldn't
Probably.
be an additional.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got the spreadsheet.
Right. I think if you do it yearly, it's not a big cost difference.
Okay.
But if you, so I think,
The more data he's got to input in a sense. If you have 3 years
Right.
worth of sales, it's going to take him
so
longer to.
I think what
to
he's
do
going
it.
to suggest
Yeah.
is we kind of hold steady this year.
Mm-hmm.
Next year, he's going to be doing the suggestion that we transfer from O'Donnell's
Mm-hmm.
to Trio. Let's do it then, because that's going to be a $15,000 or $20,000 expense.
Yeah. for-
to-
And that would be
software.
part of the expense.
Right.
So it'd be like included in there where.
So Andy, just to let you know, if we were going to try to keep our mill rate around 9 and tax the whole 600,000, we would be looking at having to take $1 million, come up with $1 million. So 100,000 in anticipated and 947,000 somewhere else. 300 and something thousand, I said, that we typically do just by, DOT and such. So you're looking at, you would take all of our unassigned.
Okay, yeah, I was just curious as far as, that,
Now
obviously 9 is way too
Now
low.
we're talking.
Gotcha.
You want to talk about wages?
I had hoped to try to get a better picture of where I can start putting in final numbers for the budget. So, I had I had calculated the 3.5%, which is in all of the budget figures I've presented. I gave an option for the 2.8%, which is the federal COLA. When I ran mill rate scenarios, I did start running them at the 2.8% wages, and the difference that it made was a penny on mill rate, so I stopped doing all of those scenarios.
And it's what, 70-something thousand overall? Did I see that number somewhere? Like a 3.5 and 2.8.
It's a difference of
70s.
$7,743.
7,000?
Yes.
Okay. I thought
Between the 2.8 and the 3.5.
Yeah, I thought I saw that number somewhere. Yeah.
Oh, that page 19. That was
Yeah.
So what are you really looking for in guidance from the budget committee?
Either do we want to stay with the 3.5, or should I be switching to the 2.8 or something in between?
What are they gonna be for?
What are you looking at?
What did you look at me for?
And again, I just went with the 3.5 because that's what we had offered last year.
This is
Total
every.
salaries is the salt shed, by the way. Yeah.
And this is all employees, right?
Correct.
Yeah, but if you do away all the salaries, there's nobody to use the salt shed. Just come get your own.
How many 5-gallon buckets? To your own.
So if we were all wealthy, we could, waive our salaries this year. I don't think that's, I think that's an option.
What is the board thinking?
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I know that 7,000 is not a huge number overall, but
It's $1,000 less than we were gonna spend for fireworks.
when you put it like that, right?
What has happened to Michael?
Huh?
I said, what has happened to Michael? He's aging or something.
I mean, I guess my 2 cents is I think it's for the quality employees we have, I think it's, they're certainly deserving, but I think in the grand scheme of things, and again, like setting a little, I think being consistent, I guess, I would more support the 2.8%. I think, yeah, that's where I stand.
What is the actual COLA from national?
2.8.
2.8?
Yeah.
I think we should stick with that this year.
But wouldn't it be better if, even if we went to 3%, just to show that we do appreciate you? I mean, how much is that going to set financially? I mean,
From
it's
2.8, probably very minimal.
Right, yeah.
The difference
But-
between 2.8 and 3, you mean?
right.
Is what? How much?
Not much.
Can't
I ran figures.
It's a rounding fee.
It might save you $1,000. I can't imagine
But-
it's even
Then I'm
that.
fine with
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I mean,
agree with you.
if you're letting the staff know that the COLA is 2.8, we've decided to give you 3%. I mean,
In the town, I guess we still need to, we still pay the 0.5% of that family leave.
Yeah.
That we don't have to.
Right.
The town pays half, an employee pays half, but we've agreed to pick up the 0.5%. At least we look at it every year, because I think this isn't this year. In May or June, isn't that per the regulation that they can change that 0.5%?
And I would also
No, not
just
this
say
year.
that
I think
Not this
it's
year?
in
Next year?
27, yeah.
Next year.
in a lot of occupations, just that at 2.8% is not guaranteed. I know everyone has different jobs and whatever qualifications and everything, but
Prices in 4 years.
yeah, that's if they can plan on that, as just a baseline, that's better than some people have it. That's what I'm trying to say.
And they get dental. You hiring?
Library is.
give us 14 hours a week.
I'm okay with 3%. If I don't have to call Bob to get my road plowed 2 days after the storm.
Uh-oh.
I'm at 2.8.
Pretty much. What are you thinking, Sean?
I'm still thinking.
Can I ask you a couple questions on some of those suggestions I had?
Yes.
Just so we could,
Yep.
like the clothing for the bigger ones, the fire department, there's 4,000 in there. And I don't think they really, there was 4,000 in it from last year, and I don't think they've spent anything this year, if I remember right. I was just suggesting that instead of putting more tax money in it, they use one of the fire funds to fund it, if they need it.
You have mileage in there twice, by the way.
You know what, I looked at it, but you know what, every mileage in every department is 503-21.
Oh, it's there all the
Yeah,
same?
you didn't
Oh,
put the
okay.
department, so
I thought it was specific to each thing, so I'd have to go, I'd have to be clarified some of that. I just noticed that. But like, I just thought as a suggestion is for 4,000 less tax.
Is
and
that,
they have money
is
in
that
those
clothing
funds.
separate from equipment? Like,
Yes, yeah, that's a separate issue. But when you look at the fire department, there's, according to this $11 has been expended for the 4,000 we appropriated last year.
Okay.
So if they're still going to spend it, I don't know. But even so, if they need it for next year, why not use some of that donation money, as I say there, because it helps the town. I mean, that's what it's there for, right?
Yeah.
That's the thought. E911 addressing agent, is there a reason why that went up so high based on previous years? It went, I think around 4,000 was about the highest or so when you look at the budget, and now it's like at 7. I'm trying to find it.
Oh.
I was just wondering what that is.
Does that change?
It's at 7,000. The last year's
Yeah.
budget was 7.
Point me to a page.
It's up, sorry, page 7. But when you look back, 23 and 24, you spent about $4,000. 25 was 2,500. It's only at 2,000 this year. So is there a reason why it's jumping up to 7? I don't know, that's what I'm asking.
Tell me, what do they do?
So.
That's true. You're looking at it.
That is
What are you looking
based on what we allot him per week. So if you look at the actual wage sheet, it tells you that.
Well, should we allot less? Or do we, I mean, it doesn't really matter if you don't spend it, obviously.
Someone say
but-
a lot less?
I mean, is there,
It's figured on 8 hours a week.
is that needed, Drew, or? I mean, obviously, you could work more one week and less the other week, that kind of thing, but I mean, it just seems that based on history, we don't come close to that. And I was just wondering,
If there's an excess,
Yeah,
I mean, there was a lot of work done to get 911 up to snuff, and now things are there. So I haven't looked at the numbers as far as where it's landing this year. Yeah, in my timesheet, I keep, it shows how much I've used versus
Correct.
what's left over. I haven't really looked
We
at it.
start with a lump sum for the year and you deduct from that.
So you could look at that and say, yeah, there's this much extra this year and come back.
I mean,
I can cut that back to like 5 hour, or figure it on like 5 hours a
I
week
just-
and see what it
yeah,
does.
whatever, I just looked at, it was 4,500, 4,100, 2,500. This year's at 2,000. Seems like 4,000 or maybe a little bit more than 4,000 would be probably enough on average, I would assume, unless for some reason this next year comes out to be a big thing. But I just wonder if there was anything special why it was. It just seems, but your explanation obviously makes sense. Yeah, sure. I was just, again, looking at ways to try to nickel.
Yeah, I mean, I know
a few thousand.
No, I'm not
Yeah,
putting
yeah,
it,
I know.
I was curious though.
the percentage makes me think it's a bigger
I mean, it
number
just goes back to-
overall, and I know it's a smaller number, but
So, I mean,
Right.
that's something you
I'm
feel
thinking about
confident
it.
that you're.
No, I'm not
really
disagreeing with you at all.
No,
I mean,
Put me on New Road again.
Less,
You know.
but a lot of people don't get
It's a
that.
lot easier to
Don't
spell.
get anywhere near that. That's what
I can
that's where
tell
Yeah.
you what it, like if we knock it down to,
Every letter in Pheasant is phonetically ambiguous. Every one of them. New Road is really easy to spell on the phone. So New Road, not old.
Oh, $6.
Pheasant.
so if I knock it down to
do
5
not believe
hours,
what I
it gets
get.
it to
My
like
address, what people
4,400.
spell it
I
as.
mean, that's probably.
Oh, pheasant,
It's like
yeah, no.
The public works overtime, we talked about that, that's at 20, and I think 15 seems to be reasonable.
$6.10.
In addition to all of the people.
Sorry, I thought I had changed that in the last.
I think those other things are probably
So-
Public Works, the Bush supplies. Again, I based some of these on the history of what was spent, not just what was last year. So it just seemed more to kind of get what historically the numbers were. The highway expenses, I think, went up too. I was just freezing it at 18 from last year. Again, just that type of year where you're trying to. The Parks and Recreation, again, I think never spent that much.
Yeah, what is that?
5,000.
Separate, I guess, it obviously doesn't cover mowing. What does that
No.
cover, the Parks and Recreation? What does that cover?
You'd have to ask. I don't know if it's
Parks
them for
and
buying
Recreation
something or
are
whatever.
flags.
Yeah.
If we have to get, so this year, we might have to actually spray the park for the geese.
Yeah. That was gross.
I'll volunteer.
Just, they make a natural geese deterrent that they claim if we spray.
12 gauge.
from
Spinning
the-
wheels. Yeah.
Yeah.
And beautification, same deal. What does that go for?
Beautification has been.
Selectmen makeovers.
Because we're not doing the monument, correct? And then the wreaths in town during the holidays.
That's beautification.
But that hasn't been. I haven't seen that done in a while. That's why.
Well,
I
not
think
on,
Danny's
so we still get them for this building, like wreaths for this building, the fire department, and then that's all we do for wreaths now. We don't put them, but all the
Going
ones
down
that we
Main
used to
Street.
put on the poles were all donated anyways.
Yeah.
We put
People
one on
would
the
get
monument,
together.
right?
And we put one at
Yeah.
the monument. I'm trying to think how many I order.
Yeah.
And then beautification is also,
Flowers.
they get bark mulch for, like, the monument, would come out of that. Because most of the time, we have volunteers that will either put the urns out with flowers or, so they try to do the monument with bark mulch. Bark mulch out here on this one.
That wasn't from the town. That was Laurie who did all that. My wife's the one out here all summer. I didn't know there was a beautification. Can I get some money?
It went from.
It's so,
Yeah, like.
so in the past, people have asked us for reimbursement. So like
But that, let
Like
Laurie
Carol
took care of it.
Farnsworth would,
Yeah, the
we would come
monument
in
they
and
should,
and
'cause they did a
pay.
big, huge thing
Yeah,
around
she
the
did a lot
monument.
of that, yeah.
Laurie just
Yeah.
likes doing it, that. She does the church in there, so.
I appreciate that. I did not realize it was
Yeah,
her. I thought
yeah.
it was someone else, to be
No,
truthful.
I know, because I had to water it a couple times. She didn't come up with water.
Humble brag.
You yeah.
No, she
Humble
couldn't
brag.
make it. She said, "You better get up there, do the church and the
He just wants
town."
credit. Could you give him some credit? So
I seen her up there.
Again, those were just things.
But I think
that,
I think
you
you're
know.
right though. There are a bunch of little things.
And again, even if it's one-offs, you know,
Yeah.
if you have to go back next year or something because it's.
Well, you look at beautification,
I
though,
don't
we
know,
went,
but-
2023 went from $484 up to $2,000. What did we do different? Where we
But
get
then
prettier all of a
beautiful by
sudden?
nature. I thought we didn't.
We're
need-
beautiful by nature, yeah.
According to the slogan.
It shouldn't cost us that much then, should it?
right.
If we're beautiful by
I
nature.
think,
a lot better
I
slogans
think in
that don't go
25, the
with
Parks and
mine.
Recreation probably was charged.
Flatlanders come
Probably,
post their land.
that account got charged probably when it should have, because, I mean, they were at $7,000.
But but we did this huge jump, right?
But anyway.
From 2024 to 2025,
So
I
then-
don't remember what that was for.
Those other two items, Betty, you mentioned that when we first started,
Been
those
on board
other
for 30
State
years,
Street
it all
Fund
blends
and the
together.
broadband, can we somehow get them?
Yeah.
Okay, because I mean, we're not gonna use them, I don't know what the State Stream Fund is. Oh, you said that was from the culvert.
From the culvert.
But,
on Moose Pond.
but I want to come to, that's the sort of stuff that, we do the outside agencies and we'll argue about $250, but we'll spend $2,000 on bark. I want to see our town beautiful, I think it's a good idea, but it's taxpayer money. I would much rather see taxpayer money go to help somebody with cancer get the help they need than bark.
I have a question on the last line item here of the town broadband initiative. Is that still continuing?
No, it's up.
No.
So are you eliminating that from the budget?
Well, that
So-
account, that's
Yeah,
what's
the
left.
Yeah, so there's a
Right.
fund called
Yeah.
Town Broadband Initiative, so Andy's suggesting
Well,
that
you
the,
mentioned it
well, I
when we first
did,
started,
the
yeah.
warrant article at town meeting that will roll that into unassigned.
That makes sense.
So, so Parks and Recreation, Andy, sorry,
Yes.
so the 50710, you say there's 4,000 remaining. We've spent 3,000.
No. It went up, it's going up 1,000 this year. So I said, bring it back to the 4,000.
Oh,
last year.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. I
think I
misunderstood
think-
all of these then.
Yeah, Sam, what it is, I think I
Yeah.
said, I think you cut off the sentence that described what I put here.
Okay.
I think that,
Normally,
yeah.
that's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, the remaining is what I'm suggesting be there.
Okay.
And what, the first number is what I'm saying to cut out. So you can, like, you know. you can see-
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I said that
That
in the
makes much
little
more
sentence.
sense.
Yeah, I see
If
what
you
you're
check my
Sorry.
email, I said to you. I
It is a
saw you
little
wrote this, and I'm
confusing, yeah.
thinking, oh, they're gonna get confused.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I
Do
was
you-
just trying to hold it to last year.
Do you have a total of what these say? I guess I could probably just add them
No,
up.
I didn't really.
But that seems like a good chunk you got.
Yeah, I mean, even those, that 53 at the bottom is a good chunk of money.
Between Betty and you going through these things, it's really good because you're,
8,400, I mean, you're at
rather than just
a lot
automatically
right there
saying
already,
yes to all these warrant articles, you're going through and finding out what you need or don't need.
Yeah, and, you know, if we can, some years you might have to hold the budget to what it was last year, and then maybe next year it could go up or something.
Luck
you
with
know.
that.
Based on past,
Right.
how much you spent, too.
I know it's small amounts of money, but it does add up.
Does add up.
Does add up.
I really appreciate that you went through and did that. Because you guys would know these things over us as a committee.
All right, 3%.
See?
Yeah.
We still have that conundrum to figure out the salt shed.
What else was on your list, Betty?
Just see capital funds and budget calendar.
We skipped to the budget calendar. I'm hungry.
Yeah. So I just wanted to make a note. I know, Sean, you said you were, so then I can plan out the rest of the budget season. You said you were not going to be here.
I have parent-teacher conferences on the 24th
of
and
March.
And I will be gone the week of the 20th of April. Don't let that hold you up. I mean,
I will be here every single meeting,
so you get the floor.
unless I get sick.
And then I know your dad had said tonight.
Yeah,
you
this is the
went.
first one I've ever missed.
Oh, no, because I said
just
we're
tonight.
canceling
Yeah.
next week, so
I
he
think
said
just
he's got
tonight.
2
First
weeks
one I've
off.
ever missed in 30 years.
I missed
I'd
it.
rather be here than the conferences.
I don't know if I'm gonna do this again next year. My term's up, yeah.
My patience is starting to get thin.
So you think, Betty, we might be able to
Close to 12 since I've been
push the
here 30 years.
21st to
I joined
April
the
up a
years.
week,
Yeah.
possibly?
That's what I'm
So
hoping.
Sean could be here?
Yeah, that's what I'm
So
hoping.
maybe Sean will get the 21st of April up one week so that
I think
have
we
it
talked
completed
about
before you
Yeah,
leave.
Sherry.
I
Sherry,
mean,
I lost to Sherry one
the salt shed's gonna
thing,
be
and
the
then
big,
brought me back the
thing
next.
trying to figure. That's like the big kicker,
So,
figuring how to do that.
just so I know where to go, because I'm going to adjust all of these, compare, for what you have. I have already adjusted what I had. So wages, just so on the 17th, when I come back, we have somewhat of a, so, do you want me to stay with a 3.5, do a 3, do a 2.8?
3.
3.0.
2.8.
Oh.
Can we just run the 3 and then we can do the math? If we're- And
I
then
think
we can
three.
subtract
Yeah,
out
if
the
it comes,
$200.
yeah, if it comes to where it's a make or break, then yeah, we can go 2.8, but 3.0 if we can afford it.
What do you
Okay.
say?
I think 3. I mean, it's 2, there's no
Yeah, it's
difference.
minimum.
2.8.
Mickey, how much do you want? She said you can't afford it.
Anything else?
That is, I think that
Motion
gets
to
me,
adjourn.
Second.